I'm so raped. Where's my guy? Where is my guy? What the fuck? Hold on, hold on. Unless if dude. Why does this always happen? Hold on. Where is he? Where is he? Fuck it. I guess I'm just doing. I don't know how I fixed it last time. What if I just do this? I'm Nicholas Diorio. I'm Nicholas Diorio until I can figure it out. Where the fuck? Okay, hey guys, this is like that. This like that one episode of Family Guy where American Dad pretends he's Peter Griffin. Like that one episode of of Family Guy where I don't even know if that's actually a thing. No, there's like that one episode of Simpsons where Family Guy shows up. Wait. Why is my hold on? I need to turn down my gain. I need to turn down my gain a little bit because my fucking limiter is like just fucking peaking. Dude, how's my Diorio impression? How's my Diorio impression? I say as I pop into the mic. Seriously, like, why does my PNG YouTuber always fucking break? How do I even fix this? How do I even? Where? What? What? It's so scuffed. It's so scuffed. It's so scuffed. Hold on. Hit undo trans. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? Why is it broken, dude? Amazing. Where is he? Where the fuck is he? Where the fuck? Yorio rubbing his gamma-shaped belly. Dude, you can't say that. Like he's at, where the fuck is he? It should be working. There's no reason why it shouldn't be working. Where the fuck? Like, actually, where? Dude. I don't know where he went. I don't know where he went. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to fix this, dude. Hold on. What if I do this? Closing it. I'm closing it. I'm closing the little out. Stop! Stop! Stop tomatoing! Stop tomatoing! Stop tomatoing! What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Stop! I'm trying! I'm fucking trying! There, what the fuck? Why did there we go. I should have just done not even camera showed up to the camera YT stream. Fuck! I should have just no, you know what I should have done? I should have like turned my gain. Hold on. I should have like turned my gain down all the way. I should have turned down my gain all the way so that it sounds like I'm barely coming through. And then put fucking and then put Diorio where I usually am here in the fucking corner. And then like act like I fucking got ate by Diorio. I mean, anyways. Fuck. Now my gain is too low. Fuck. All right. So of course we're gonna cover. You're not supposed to actually turn the gain down. I did actually turn the gain down. Okay, I did actually turn the gain down because the knob is right there. Knob head. Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna cover the Parry situation. I know everybody else covered it already, but I still want to cover it because because well, you know, I actually made one of the biggest videos on Brandon Buckingham at the time. So look, dude. So besides his, but his doesn't count because that's his, right? But when Brandon Buckingham, Twitter, Brandon Buckingham Twitter. Look, it's right. I'm right here. I'm right here. Look, I'm right here at 14,000 views. The only other person who made a what's it called, a YouTube video that got more views than that was that one guy who went to Shelbyville. Shelbyville. The only other person who got more views than me on this situation was the guy on Shelbyville, who tried like hunting down a pedophile and like kind of doxed them through. Look, it's Jimmy. It's Jimmy. Look, he's also in the algorithm because he has Brandon Buckingham in the fucking title, of course. The YouTube video. So of course we're gonna cover the Brandon Buckingham situation because I have a reason to, as you can see. It's not even plugged in. It's not even plugged in. So of course I'm gonna be covering it. It's only like necessary for me to do so for algo. But before that, let's warm up. What do we got going on here? It's Beckett of Cope and Seethe at Cope and Seethe YT, obfuscating the Nicholas Diorio drama. Beckett frames the problem around the Chud drama as a problem of friendship, which sweeps away Nicholas' horrible conduct towards Willie Mac, slandering Queeman. His pathetic coverage of the H3 drama he doesn't win contested in live debate. You know what? This is a really great and greatly broken down post about like the further intricacies and issues with this entire situation, this entire commentary civil war situation by our good friend here, Federal Rape. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this guy, Federal Rape. Federal Rape, right? Federal Rape.
Like, my argument would be
my personal best friend, Federal Rape.
Like, this should have been solved privately.
My closest friend in the community, Federal Rape. The guy who directly managed my account, Federal Rape. I'm kidding.
Because it's a friendship drama. Or they should have jumped on a stream.
Dude, I'm gonna steal the mute. You know how I'm gonna like Mrau walk. I'm gonna skinwalk Mrau. I'm gonna like take his fucking kitty skin him alive, and like wear it on my head. I'm gonna turn his like little fucking like his fat fucking like flesh into a fucking hood of sorts. You know what I'm saying? You guys know the Mugenics soundtrack, the Mugenics music, right? It's actually really. I have it in the background. I realized that I should probably get it on loop for my stream. Like the fucking Mugenics soundtrack is actually so good. The Mugenics like idol music. I like hear it in the background because I have Mugenics open, right? And it's actually just great fucking background music. Idol OST. Not that one. This one? This, look. It's so fire. It just works. I'm just gonna keep that in the background the entire time. I'm gonna download a copy of this, and I'm just gonna like put it in the background the entire time. The banjo one. This one's a little bit too. This one has like a little bit too many vocals. I need one with less vocals on it. But anyways, there's a bunch of good idol OSTs. Where is it? Where's one? Whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna. I don't even fucking care about this anymore. We're just gonna go into the Brandon Buckingham stuff. Artgenics #epic W. We're just gonna get straight to it. I don't even care. We're gonna get straight to the content because nobody wants to hear me bloviate about random bullshit that doesn't matter. And I'm also gonna be playing Mugenics. I suck at this game. I'm not gonna lie. I fucking suck at this game. I suck at Mugenics.
While I was in the hospital on
like I dead ass suck at Mugenics so fucking bad, dude. Hold on. Peep this. Where I've been playing this game for like 3-4 days. Yeah, 4 days. And I barely got to the fucking final boss of the Boneyard. Dude. It's so raped. It's actually so raped how bad I am at this game. But anyways, we're gonna do both at the same time because it should be relatively easy. My cats are W right now. My cat are W maxing right now. And I have and I'm look at this. I'm W maxing right now. My cats have relatively good stats, and they can revive and heal. So hopefully we get through this first try. All right.
the brink of death, a tornado of retardation was brewing. The internet's attention economy.
As I was on the brink of death, a tornado of retardation occurred. About 6 minutes in, and this guy cannot hide the fact that he's like fucking seething. He cannot. I mean, to be fair, somebody did make fun of him at his deathbed, right? But come on, bro. It's Purple Parry Gaming. To be clear, I used to have like a very shallow beef with Parry. I'm just gonna like rip off the band-aid and say it outright. But I've grown to like unironically really like the guy. If that makes any sense, because we've had a couple of conversations in Nuki Chat VC, and Parry's like unironically just a fucking very funny guy. So I cannot, even if I wanted to, dislike the guy even further. There was this gold conversation that happened in Nuki VC like a couple of weeks ago, where Parry's like, what if we start like analyzing movies through the lens of how much they crash out or how much they're made to crash out as lolcows, right? So essentially the premise is like, take a character who crashed the fuck out that you could like essentially label a lolcow because they crashed out, right? So like, you know, John Wick, right? That's John Jomha, right? Like Ian Jomha, because he's a lolcow. Dude, that entire fucking conversation was funny. That shit went on for fucking hours, just naming random protagonists who crashed out, who like lolcowed out essentially. Fire. But anyways, let's continue.
Has spawned humanoid cockroaches.
Is this my first time in the boneyard? Yes.
Anything for a few moments of online notoriety. Well, let me introduce
W notoriety?
You to the most pathetic man on the internet. His name is Purple Parry Gaming. On the same day that I informed my audience that my heart, liver, and kidneys were all failing, this desperate loser...
I mean this with no disrespect, but like 1.26 million subscriber Brand Buckingham versus literally who? Literally what? Purple Parry Gaming. Literally who? Literally what? Purple Parry Gaming. Yeah, the guy has like less than a fucking percentage. The guy had like unironically, Parry should be like a summer ant to him. Parry should be like a summer ant to him, dude. Less than a fucking percent of W Parry on God. Like less than a fucking percent of notoriety, bro.
Took to Twitter to say this. Insane. YouTuber and rapper at Buckingham show exposed for faking his hospital GoFundMe scare, recording in a possibly fake hospital set, not showing medical documents regarding his condition. And attached is a video of him soy-jacking about my IV pump that is battery powered, not being plugged in.
Dude, look at
I'm nuking him. I'm nuking him. I wanted to go live and nuke him because I wanted to see what would happen.
It's not even plugged in.
Huge!
And this tweet is by far his most successful, gaining over 4 million views, showing just how stupid the algorithm really is. He followed that up by posting a photo of my wife and daughter saying, Brandon, we will be running a train on your wife once you kick the bucket to keep...
By the way, complete joke. To complain about this, by the way, is fucking bullshit when you know... I mean, to be fair, Parry did kind of like if you follow the context of this, Parry really did imply some like really fucked up shit. Because Parry argued that like, you know, running a train implies rape, right? Which is really fucked up to do, right? so like the meaning of here is really fucked up to do, but he clearly meant wife. He clearly meant wife, and he's trying to make it and framing it in the sense that it's gonna be wife and daughter. When this is clearly like supposed to be an antagonistic joke.
Her company, Choo Choo, as well as your kid looks mentally disabled. I don't know why you feel comfortable posting pics of him online. Call a doctor about him before it's too late. Mind you, I have never interacted with this Maltese manlet a single time in my entire life.
Maltese manlet.
He is saying all this solely because he is desperate for my attention. So today we're going to be addressing this lying freak who has been groveling at my feet for 12 weeks straight like an attention-starved pig. But first, let me tell you about this awesome company that has been helping me.
Why does this guy keep moving? How do I fuck him?
In my entire life. After I got out of the ICU, I could barely walk or move my arms, and I didn't have health insurance until January 1st. But luckily,
somebody who knows I didn't have health insurance until January 1st. Dude, that's so fucked. Why? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Merrick was there to help me get better.
Click him? Yeah, I did. What do I do? How do I kill him? Avoid your attacks. Will get revenge on the cat who kills it. How do I kill him?
They ordered extensive blood work for me and gave me a dedicated health coach along with a licensed team of clinicians to evaluate my blood work and provide me with the supplements I need to optimize my recovery. Also, I had been vomiting for months, and Merrick did a comprehensive evaluation of my GI tract and prescribed me the proper treatments to actually stop my nausea and vomiting. Most doctors dismissed my symptoms, but thankfully, Merrick has been there to give me real answers that actually work. I truly enjoyed working with Merrick Health and strongly recommend anyone who wants to optimize their health to check them out. Now, back to Purple Pussy Gaming. This guy has made 7 videos and live streams on his channel with my name in the title, with his most popular video by far being this one, titled Why You Shouldn't Donate to Brandon Buckingham. And the thumbnail is a picture of me with the words liar, fraud,
liar, fraud, incubated. Fuck! Alright.
And incubated on it. A lot of my friends over on Patreon messaged me this video.
Click on him? I am! What do I do? What do I do? How do I kill him?
And told me that they wanted to see me react to it. Apparently it came out while I was in the hospital, so I figured I would go outside, get some sun, and see what this dumbass has to say about me. Let's get into it.
What the fuck is this?
I would assume that I have to...
Is this like the director? Is this
well,
the, like,
I would assume that I have to corner him
the
so I can kill him.
set that you're using? He's like watching to make sure that you guys aren't ruining his set of a fake hospital?
Never asked for help before, but my heart is currently only working at 15 to 20%.
Oh yeah? Is that what the unplugged medical equipment is saying?
It's not even plugged in. It's not even plugged in. Why is he... Dude, dude, if I were like fucking dying and somebody on the internet fucking made fun of me dying, the last thing I would do is like fucking pull up a meme clip. Pull up a meme clip and the introduction of somebody's video to give them like more attention. The fact that they fucking owned me while I was on my deathbed.
15 to 20%.
So yeah, the first 52 seconds of his video is a coming up teaser, which is just a compilation of all the stupidest things he says in the video, I'm assuming. He says my IV pump isn't plugged in. I guess he's saying it's a fake hospital.
It's not even plugged in.
I think he showed an image of my dad and asked if it was the hospital director. Which is just, I mean, so far, that was just really stupid. I don't know.
Medical City Healthcare. What kind of fucking name is Medical City Healthcare?
Medical City Healthcare.
That's like saying, this is the doctor hospital. This is the health hospital. What the is this even a real hospital, man? Is this like some fucking set in some fucking TV show?
Alright, dude. This might be hard to get through. Why would it be a set? Why would I be on a set? But yeah, Medical City Healthcare is a part of the Medical City Dallas healthcare system. So you could just kind of Google it. I didn't invent the hospital. And yeah, I guess they have branded cups.
An 11-month-old baby who is...
Baby, like, why does it matter? Like, it's insane.
I mean, that's what Parry does. That's what Parry does. Like, this the entire framing. I mean, it's unironically like the easiest W for his audience, right? Because he's posturing. And also like the biggest L at the same time. Because it's either you take the L, or I mean, it's either you take the L, or yeah, I mean, I guess he can have his cake and eat it too in this case, right? It's an L because it's an obvious fucking troll. He's fucking around. He's obviously being obtuse, and if you engage with this guy's content meaningfully at all, which in order to research a video like this, you would need to, right? In order to research a video like this, you would in fact need to like you know, pay attention to the content. You would realize that this guy just trolls. He's like, he obscures and obfuscates things on purpose for the sake of like being funny, for the sake of fucking around. So you got to sit there and you got to realize that this entire time, because of how butthurt he is, he's like taking all of these clips, knowing that they're meant to like aggravate him, and like feeding into it. But to his audience, it's like, dude, look at the fucking research here. Look at the fucking rabbit hole of this insane fucking loser, right? But deep down, you know that we all know Parry is a troll. Everybody knows Parry is a troll. I'm sure even Brandon knows that Parry is a troll. So he's just like in the background editing. Everybody thinks that like, dude, look at how fucked up this guy is. But Brandon knows deep down that this guy just fucking trolled him to no end.
Why does it matter?
Trolled him into forcing a response.
That you have
trolled him into forcing 2 responses, by the way. Trolled him into forcing 2 response. Not one. Not 1, but 2. I completely forgot. He trolled him into forcing not 1, but 2 responses.
a fucking kid.
Look, I like Brandon. I like Brandon Buckingham. And I'm not gonna lie to you. He might be a little bit of an asshole, right? He might be a little bit of like you know, he might be a dick. But I like Brandon. I've had a couple of Twitter interactions with him. I think the guy's like, you know, pretty chill. But come on, dude. There's no way you got trolled into making two responses. Like people already got pissed off at Parry. Like initially Parry had actually like gotten a wave of hate from the initial tweet that got extremely popular, right? And then afterwards, he got another wave of hate from the release of this video. And people were like trying to call into his stream and give him grief for it. And now we're here again, so it's 3 times in a row. So it's 3 fucking times that Parry has faced the ire of these people.
yourself up by your boots.
Yeah, I checked the DMs. I checked the DMs. We'll probably see if we can get around to that. What I want to do is cover this, and then I want to cover a video by what the fuck is her name? What is her name? What is her name? What is her name? Shuonhead? I want to watch this video by Shuonhead that was uploaded 4 days ago because I like hating on women. I'm evil. Type shit.
Straps, retard. Do your fucking job. Get your fucking wife to open an OnlyFans, you stupid piece of shit. You stupid fucking retard. Put some fucking work in. Don't make me fucking put your bill for your fucking degenerate, fucking drug-addled, retard, fucking Los Angeles fucking networking lifestyle.
Oh, he's saying my wife should start an OnlyFans. What's this guy's deal? What's wrong with this guy? Hopefully everyone from Malta isn't like this. People from Malta should disavow this guy because this is a bad representation
People from
of your
Malta should
country.
disavow this guy.
My beautiful stay-at-home wife. Oh, she's a stay-at-home wife, so she's not busy.
What the
Open
fuck?
up an OnlyFans. Get her to
What the
open up an
fuck? I have to
OnlyFans.
kill my
Get your
cat.
wife to spread her
He got
legs so Chris the Narc can put
It's
the...
fucking over. He got my strongest cat. He got my strongest cat. It's fucking done. It's wraps. I'm raped. And he killed my archer. He killed my fucking art. Can I cleanse him? It's over. It's so fucking over. He killed my fucking cat. What the fuck do I do? I'm raped.
bill.
You read the tool. I'm fucked. It's done, dude. It's done. It's done. It's done. Where's my do-over? 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 Fuck! Fuck! How do I do my... Where's my do-over? Okay. Alright, Steven, give me my fucking warning. Jesus Christ. I wasn't paying attention, I forgot.
Surgery.
In some countries, you get killed over saying something like that. I think that...
Dude, why the... He's obviously, like, implying that people should do something about this Parry guy. People of Malta, you should disavow this guy. In some countries, in some Semitic countries like Saudi Arabia, in some Arabic countries, which I presume this guy is, people get killed for saying something like, no, they don't. Nobody's gonna kill somebody. Nobody's gonna kill somebody for, like, did the thug shaker? All right, bro. Nobody's gonna... You killed him with your strongest cat? Yeah, on accident. All right.
When someone is this stupid and hateful and just miserable, all you could do is, like, hit him with the "I'll pray for you."
Get a job. Get a job, you fucking deadbeats. Get a job, you lazy loser.
So I provide for. 4 days ago, I woke up.
I provide for her. She's disabled. She can't. No, get her to open an OnlyFans, and then maybe you'll earn your fucking keep in this.
All right. This
What's
time
this guy's
we locked in.
problem,
This time we're locked in. This time we got it.
So this purple Parry guy keeps talking about my wife doing OnlyFans, and it made me...
This time we got it. I have to kill him with my archer. That's the goal. We have to kill him with my archer, and then we're solid.
Get on my phone really quick.
I'm gonna nuke him again.
Pretty quickly, the only thing that I can even find about him that isn't just videos he's posting is an interview he does where this guy's asking him why he follows and looks at...
I'm actually curious why he founds and looks at Lolly. wait. Let me let this part play out, because this part is funny as fuck. This part is, like, unironically funny as fuck. If you are in my Discord server, this part is hilarious. Okay, because this all broke on my Discord server first. Like I'm telling you, it's funnier when you're, like, in the loop, because I'm about to explain what the fuck happened in this situation right now. I'm about to explain what happened in this situation.
Lolicon material.
This one's epic. There's one called Iron Lily. That one you could even argue is lowly, but no one called me out on it.
In chat, Bobby B asked, "Did you expect people to question you following them?"
No, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but I didn't. But you see what I mean, right?
But
That's
see,
like,
Parry,
this is
you
by
gotta-
far the worst.
Yeah, this is pretty bad.
I stand by it, is my point, you know?
And what's
Stand
even
by
more
is my
ironic...
point. Okay, so look. That tweet is made by a fucking chatter, by an alleged so-called, he self-proclaimed chatter known as Green, like green, literally just fucking green, right? Known as Green. So we were in fucking Nuki chat one day, unironically. It's so fucking gay saying that. It's so gay saying that. It's so gay fucking, like, saying the chat name so much. I shouldn't have named it Nuki. I should have named it something better. But we were in Nuki chat one day. Fuck, dude, the prior context to this is so much funnier because Kathy was pressing him on something, and it's so much funnier. We were in the Discord chat, right? We were in the Discord server, and we're like Parry didn't go live that day. We're like, why the fuck didn't Parry go live? Is he sick or something? And then somebody decides to check his Twitter, and he's just fucking reposting like fucking femboy ass. He's reposting like fucking like femboy ass and some thick ass fucking whores. I'm not even gonna lie. Sorry for saying whores. I don't mean it. I don't mean it as a pejorative. I don't mean it like as a derogatory term, right? But he was posting OnlyFans whores and like femboy ass like that. Like not even joking. Like not even joking. He was posting femboy ass with bulge and everything. If I could show the picture, I fucking would. Oh yeah, he got hacked and went along with a joke, right? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. yeah, yeah. He got hacked and he went along with a joke. And then Green started like fucking going through his followings and taking screenshots of all like the fucking OnlyFans models he was following, right? and he found like a couple of accounts that were like lolly or so, right? A couple days later, Green makes the post. Green makes the post after we're like fucking around in Nuki chat, and he like links it in there. And he's like, dude, this is so fucked up. Parry's following Lolly, right? Obviously, it's a fucking joke. Obviously, it's a fucking joke. And that joke made it all the way to Jimmy's stream, which he was gonna cover ironically, right? Because I mean, fuck, dude, who really cares, right? Who really cares that Parry was like, had fucking like OnlyFans bitches in his like follows list, right? and essentially, it all boils down to like this fucking. It hits so close to home because it literally happened within our circle. It literally happened within our sphere. Somebody like fucking finds this guy's followings, takes a screenshot of it, makes a satirical fucking tweet. It gets covered by Jimmy, and then Parry is there like, yeah, I stand by that 100%. Even though it's like obviously fucking bullshitting. Anyways, raped.
In regards to Purple Parry Gaming being into lolicon content is he had this to say about people who watch my videos.
Brandon's pedophile rapist audience.
The pot calls the kettle black, eh? This is a deeply disturbed young boy here. But yeah, good for him. He's standing by his
He's
lolicon,
not bullshitting. Nails biting emoji. He's not bullshitting. Nails biting emoji.
Deaf. My feet were swollen.
It's not even plugged in. Dude, look at dude. Holy shit. It's not even plugged in. It's not even plugged in. It's not even plugged in. It's not even fucking plugged in. It's not even fucking plugged in. It's not even It's not even fucking plugged in.
It's not even fucking plugged in.
Oh, it's like the wires are going to it. The fucking blue wires are going to it, and it's not even fucking plugged in. It's dude.
I think that stupid people will say something over and over to try to make you more convinced of what they're saying. The IV pump has batteries, so it doesn't need to be plugged in. I don't know if I can continue reacting to this.
There's no beeping, but he's connected to it with all these wires. Where is it? Like, we have this little thing here. Where does it go? Where it goes like there? Where does it go?
Throw him into the fucking
Dude,
fire.
is this actually a scam?
Yeah, what am I supposed to say to this? This is like colossal levels of retardation.
Like, what's this over here? What's this down here? What are these boxes? Are these like earbud box? What is this?
Dude, like, he's looking at the Rode Wireless Go boxes and he's like, what's this? What is that? Oh, he's like desperately looking for stuff to try to prove that I'm
like desperately looking for. I mean, it's just Parry doing an act. It's literally just Parry doing an act. It's literally just Parry doing an act the entire time. Like, again, like I said earlier, it's like the biggest fucking like W in the world for Parry, right? For like any small like fucking troll streamer, like any small troll period. Remember Pack God? Remember Pack God, right? You guys remember that fucking loser? I hate Pack God, by the way. Pack God wishes he were Parry. Like, genuinely, Pack God wishes he were Parry. Pack God just goes into fucking like VCs and then just speaks really quickly about how somebody's like a fucking chicken bone head at, chicken bone head at type bitch, right? Like, we know this guy. We know that Parry is just like out here antagonizing people for content, right? Because that's how he got his start. That's how he makes his content. He just antagonizes people for the most part, with a little bit of like legitimate criticism in the back. There was a broader point. There was a broader point to like Parry's like trolling in that case, that a little bit of skepticism is not unhealthy. That being skeptical about if influencers need your money should be a good practice, and yes, it should be a good practice to have. Which is the takeaway that I got from that entire situation. Is like, even if Parry did believe that, I highly doubt that he believed it. I'm pretty sure he was trolling, right? Nobody actually believes, despite Parry saying that he that's actually an argument he was making. Nobody actually believes that Parry genuinely believed the claims he was making, right? It's fucking crazy that somebody sits down, goes through hours of research, because you would have to do hours of research to like get this guy, pinned down the way that Brandon Buckingham did here. It's crazy that you spend so many hours researching this guy, and then genuinely believe that this guy isn't like a provocateur, which only leads like to one conclusion here. It's obvious that Parry's a troll. Fell for the troll. So now your best way to get back at it is like a petty misframing of Parry, like a very, very petty misframing of Parry, because that's what's going on here. Is like he's misframing all of these things, not really like offering a lot of charity, saying, hey, this guy's just joking around. He's a very, very obvious troll. He's a provocateur. He's just giving like the open-ended. This guy is a pedophile because he admits he likes lolly. I pray for this guy because he's a bad representation for the small country of Malta, right? Because Maltese people should be like ashamed of you. Type bullshit. It's so fucking crazy to me. It just shows the fucking pettiness.
Not sick in the hospital dying.
Is this even in a hospital, man? Is this even having hospital noises?
Is Brandon right for the response? Yes, and I'll touch a little bit on it as my conclusion in the background, because yes, unironically, even if he went to his audience, this is rape. Even if he went to his audience and like other fucking YouTubers that are gonna dick ride this guy, this is raped. Like you are genuinely so bent out of shape. And don't get me wrong, I like Parry, but I don't fuck with his content. Like I've said this before. I don't like that like super abrasive. I want to say sort of like antagonistic like personality that he had. He's mellowed down more recently, right? But initially, I don't really like that antagonistic type bullshit. I've never been a fan of like just like super I want to say contentious argumentative type like behaviors, which is ironic for me to say because I'm very argumentative in my own way as well. But essentially, what the fuck? What was my train of thought? Fuck. Essentially, what I'm trying to get at is that you fucking. I'll just explain later. I think it's stupid that you're like falling for the bait of somebody who's like obviously trying to just make bait for content, just to like summarize it, just to like shorten my point.
I've been to a hospital before. Now, mind you, I mean, it's like the main hospital in Malta. Maybe there's like some side hospital. There's no beeping.
I can't imagine seeing somebody sick and in the hospital and reacting this way. It's just crazy.
What are we? Who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? Is this like the director? Who the fuck is this? Did you see this?
Is this like the director? Who the fuck is this?
Is this the fucking owner of the hospital set that you're using? Is this the owner of the hospital set that you're using? Is this like the owner? Dude, what the fuck is this, man?
That's my dad.
Refunding? No.
That's my dad.
Can I get one? Can I get a request a refund? At Chronic, pay attention. Text your client.
Chronic, pay attention.
Donor, I would like to refund. Believe there's been an authorized charge. Our team can help. Okay, so Chronic, click contact us, and I guess they'll help you from there. Click contact us, and then when you're talking to the AI bots, say that you have good reason to believe Brandon Buckingham is scamming, and then link them my video, and then link them my video,
right.
And then link them my video. What's this? Let's fucking go.
They can't move
guys,
there. Fuck.
Guys, amazing news, guys. We did it, guys. We did it. We did it.
All right, so one of the people I guess in his chat had donated to me. He got them to refund their donation, and he's like super proud of that.
You might be wondering what kind of person donates to a GoFundMe and then revokes their donation. Well, his name is Chronic Sonic, and let's hear what he had to say.
What kind of his name is Chronic Sonic. Dude, he's even mad that this guy revoked. Now you may be wondering, what kind of person just sits there and revokes their donation of somebody who's struggling? you're not entitled to somebody's money, even if you are struggling. Even if it, like this might be like very very like, you know, disheartening to say, and I'm like a little fucking bitch for like empathy and emotions, right? But like somebody's like, you're not entitled to somebody's money even if you are dying. People die every day and you don't see them begging for money. Like he's actually so tilted by the fact that Chronic refunded his fucking money, dude. He's actually tilted by the fact that Chronic refunded his fucking money.
Well, someone said, "You're gonna make it through this," and I replied, "He won't." Okay. And then the guy replied to me, "Pray to curse Vishnu," and I replied to him, "I'm a Christian. I know Brandon's going to hell." That's basically what I said.
What's wrong with this guy? It would have been pretty gnarly if I died and this was like what he was saying. But I guess, you know,
that's literally what everybody was telling him, by the way, which is exactly why he deleted the tweet. He was like, dude, what if this guy actually fucking dies and you have to deal with the fact that this is something that you said? This is actually why Chronic deleted that tweet, by the way.
I'll put a video right now on Twitter that someone posted towards Turkey Tom, and this guy's like mocking. You'll see.
Oh, if I survive, it'll be a long way to recovery. You hear that, Tom? Looks like your friend's gonna be a fucking turn-up for the rest of his life. How unfortunate, huh? Heart failure. Oh, he's gonna die. Yo, don't get me wrong, it's really cute you're sticking up for your little friend who got hurt. But I think it overall is pointless. I think anyone who donates is an idiot.
What?
Tell him I said reach for the stars. See ya.
All the people that give someone who's in the hospital a really hard time, that they don't even know the person, there's no reason behind it really. I think they're very like sick, dysgenic, evil people that are like miserable and like have some mental or physical deformity that makes them hideous.
And he's in hospital now because he was hitting the scissor.
No!
Too
no!
hard.
My fucking healer! My fucking heal! Wait, why is Queeman in here? Dude, this had to be coordinated. I was making this joke earlier. I like, this is literally my first time watching this video. I have not been watching this video at all. I've other people have covered it today. I haven't been watching this video from other people covering it at all. But like, why is it everybody? Why is it everybody that, like, you know, Nicholas Diorio seemingly like enemies with? Diorio hates Parry, by the way. Diorio hates Queeman. Why is it seemingly that everybody that, like, you know, that Nick has contentions with just like ends up in this video, by the way? Why is that the case?
Hitting the scissor up and the fatty too hard. He's in hospital now.
Why is, like, unironically, what is the point of Queeman being in this video besides like an obvious being an attempt to like smear and discredit him? Yeah, like, you know, via proxy of Parry. I would not be like, I have not pre-watched this video. I have not seen a single thing about this video, but I would not be surprised if like the immediate like next fucking claim here is this guy like a close friend, a close associate of Purple Parry Gaming, by the way, Queeman. Saying shit like that. It's so fucked up.
The idea of Brandon Buckingham's got some amazing reputation with all these reputable people. No. All the people who like Brandon are stupid scum.
I think like a well-to-do, nice person would not say these things, and if you are saying these things, you probably have the like physiognomy of this guy or this other guy, which is, you know,
what?
You can be ugly and fucked up and still be a nice guy. You don't have to be like this.
Is their baby retarded? Almost definitely, but we don't know for 100%. Anyway, I'm telling you guys, I've censored this photo. I censored it. That baby looks hella retarded, guys. That baby needs a helmet. Let's just say
I can't revive my guy?
No,
what the
obviously,
fuck?
They can't
I don't have enough.
It's Brandon Buckingham's fault, really. I'm not listen. Brandon Buckingham's child is hella retarded, okay?
It's pretty brave of this guy to call my 1-year-old daughter retarded looking when he looks like this.
He's like watching to make sure that you guys aren't ruining his set of a fake hospital?
The good news is, you know, I think I maybe.
Yes, I raped him!
Pale either.
Let's go! And I didn't lose a single cat! Let's fucking go! Let's go! I didn't lose a single cat. Okay, it only took 2 tries.
He's like all fucking red in the face. He's like red in the face. Dude, he looks like he just got fucking down from fucking a whole weekend of partying. And he's pretending to be dying.
A few months ago, I was in the ICU. My heart wasn't doing great. My liver and kidneys were struggling. And honestly, I almost didn't make it. Something
Shelby's goat looking chopped. Who's Shelby's goat? Would it be Queeman or would it be like Aiden in this? Because I'm pretty sure Shelby's goat is Chud Logic.
you expect, some stuff you don't. But when the unexpected happens due to someone else's negligence, that's when it really matters who's in your corner. There's a reason why you wouldn't make a documentary without knowing the full story. Just like there's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They dig into the full...
Dude, there's 2 fucking... He's farming sponsorships after... Dude, he's farming sponsorships off this guy. Okay, that's a W. I can't even get mad. That's actually a W. I can't even get mad.
Pathetic guy on the internet. You know, I don't know if he's just completely stupid or if he's just like disingenuous and does everything in bad faith, because there was this image going around of me with a pink-haired girl where I'm flexing money, smoking.
That's dude, that's Abo the Stabbo from Fish Tank. That's Abo the Stabbo from Fish Tank for all of you who don't know. That's elite ball knowledge, by the way, for all those who don't know. She's kind of like hardly recognizable because she became an OnlyFans girl and dyed her hair pink and kind of has like that narrow sort of like, you know, like SSRI face, if you know what I'm saying, right? But that's that girl who almost got hit by like, you know, who like had a mallet thrown at her by Jimmy. For those of you who don't know.
A cigar and I have a hospital band on, and the caption is "He's all right and so is your money." And this is a completely AI'd photo. I don't know who this person is. They're just making this
I don't know who this person is, but I do.
image to get clicks online, and I guess
I thought I recognized her from somewhere because she looked extremely fucking familiar. And then it clicked like several days later. And then it clicked.
You know, troll me a bit. And Purple Parry quote tweets it and says holy hell, he's actually bragging about scamming his audience. But I'd like to think he's actually smart enough to know it's AI, and he's just...
So wait. So you know that this guy's smart enough to know it's AI. I like to think that this guy is smart enough to know that it's AI and that he's just fucking around. Do you not think that he's smart enough to understand that you were actually hospitalized and was just fucking around there for the sake of like making content?
like a pathetic dickhead.
I'm sure this guy never expected his fucking like, you know, tweet to go viral or as viral as it did. Millions of views, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of viewers between like YouTube videos as well.
That is trying to get attention by
thousands for me, tens of thousands for other people, hundreds of thousands for himself and like one other guy.
Means possible. Anyways, let's get back to the reaction. I'll say one thing about this video: it's effective at defeating your desire to want to watch it. I will also likely need to be on hard medication the rest of my life.
Well, wow. I'm a millionaire. I have to pay $10 a month for heart med.
I'm not a millionaire. Dude, my RPM is like $4.50.
Estimated revenue, 4.6K a month. This is not like an adequate representation of how much you get paid on YouTube. So some months your RPM might be like your estimated revenue might be lower than like your actual payout. Because like if you don't upload like a day or 2 days or 3 days or 4 days into the month, all of those numbers are gonna go down like immediately. The only way that you'll ever see these numbers like stay green or stay like, you know, neutral or unchanged is if you're uploading like daily or weekly, so that there's like a constant like, you know, inflow, or if you're like constantly streaming so your numbers stay the same. So this isn't a good representation of revenue. You could make like, he could have made like $10,000 the previous month, and because he hasn't uploaded in a month, or because he hasn't uploaded in 3 weeks, his estimated revenue like, you know, could plummet. And then the month before that, he could have made $4,000, or he could have made $5,000, right? It's kind of like it's kind of like an average of like the previous. I don't know how much time it goes. I'm pretty sure it goes by a monthly basis. So last month he could have made like $6,000, $7,000, and because he hasn't uploaded in a couple of days or weeks, like the numbers just going down. So I don't think this is an adequate representation. And of course, because this is the last 28 days, and he hasn't uploaded in like how many months? He hasn't uploaded like a big, large video multiple times a week. In how many months? Yeah. In 3 months? Well, of course. Yeah, 3 months, 3 to 4, 6-ish months. Then, of course, his revenue is going to look like that. That's not a fair representation of how much money he's actually making.
I'm not a millionaire. I'm not even 100,000-aire. I have expenses. I have a family.
It's very
well, Patreon I'm not going to count because that's probably insignificant to the amount of money he actually gets paid. And then he also has sponsors. And yeah, has enough money to pay the staff and some recording equipment. I highly doubt he has staff. I think that this guy is probably just a couple of friends in himself.
expensive to fly 2 camera guys out to film things, right? Pay for lodging and airfare. If I was a
that is fair. That is actually completely fair. I think that out of like $10,000 that he's making a month, maybe a good $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 is getting deducted from that. Maybe $7,000 as well, because you gotta consider that yes, if he's flying out of country, he's definitely paying thousands per person. Even in even in an economy class flights, he's paying thousands per person. Because you do have to pay for their like flights, you do have to pay for like the all of the added measures, potential food, right? Their wage as well. You got to pay for the places that they're going to be sleeping in. If you guys have a place that you're going to be sleeping in, transportation. I can see that quickly adding up, including himself. That could easily be like $5,000 to $7,000 that he's spending. So I could definitely see how he's like bleeding money for each video that he's making. But at the same time, we don't know how much he's making through sponsorships or how much he's making through like other forms of revenue. We don't know how many we don't know if he has any side businesses. So, but I will say that even though I am being charitable, I will offer a point of criticism. And this is a criticism that could apply to anybody, not himself. This can also apply to like literally anybody. Why not reinvest? Why not reinvest that money into like another like outlet or another form of revenue? Just one ticket from like Delaware to Arizona is $1,709. I mean, if it's in the States, it'll be like $200 per like if you're like a couple states away. Cross country, maybe from like Georgia to Florida, Georgia to like California, you'd probably be paying $1,000 per flight. Yeah, and it also depends on the airline. Also, can he tax deducts a lot of his videos? Sure, but that doesn't really mean anything. Tax deductions don't necessarily mean that you that you're making more money. It just means that you have to pay less in taxes.
Millionaire, I wouldn't be making a GoFundMe, and that's why my Patreon members are so
it just means that at the end of the year you get to keep more of your money. It doesn't mean that you make more.
important. Speaking of which, the Kia Boys extended cut documentary is up now, which is incredibly exciting, I guarantee. And I just posted the first episode of my new podcast where I'm talking about what it was like for me to be sick, how it affected my family, and how my recovery is going so far. So check that out right now on Patreon.
Yeah, obviously a diagnosis can change, but it's not plugged in. It's not plugged in, guys. It's not even plugged in. It's not even plugged in.
It's not even plugged in. It's not even plugged in. It's not even plugged in.
Not even plugged.
He's like, dude, it's obviously a the fact that he hasn't like fucking okay. Like again, like I was saying earlier, and I'm gonna keep hammering down on this point. You obviously did hours of research on this guy to find like appearances that he had on other streams or to find points that you could like hammer down on to like shame and humiliate the guy. And if you watched hours of his content, you know that he trolls, right? You know that most of this stuff is just an act, just playing around. And despite that, you're so enraged, you're so enthralled by this guy that you go out of your way to like slam dunk in the pettiest way imaginable on literally who, Glup, Shido, whatever, Purple Parry Gaming. Apparently he had researchers also. I'm just saying, like, if your researchers like researched this guy and they came away like writing a fucking like a completely intransparent, non like retrospect or like non I want to say analytical narrative, those researchers have to be the most unethical, pathetic fucking retards on the planet. You cannot pay me. You cannot pay me to write a smear piece. You cannot pay me to write a smear piece right here.
Dude, what the fuck?
There he is. He's back saying it's not even plugged in. Great video, sick video. This is so fun.
I like to think that I'm a good researcher. I like to think that I'm like really good at finding like nooks and crumbs of information. And because I've done before and I've like spent hours before like finding various like specific information about very specific things. But you cannot pay me to research in such a like a haphazard, retarded way.
Watch, guys.
My heart is currently only working at 15 to 20%.
Oh yeah, is that what the unplugged medical equipment is saying? 15 to 20%? Is that what the unplugged medical equipment that isn't beeping is saying?
The medical equipment doesn't tell you what your ejection fraction is. That's an echocardiogram. You have to go to like imaging place to get it.
Is this like it's like a tampon like on his hand here? Like on his hand, this looks like what is like a tampon that he just put on his hand? Like what is this? what is this bracelet? What is this fucking? He's so red in the face. It's like fucking. It just doesn't. No.
The bracelet is a hospital bracelet. The tampon on my arm is where they drew blood because my IVs were getting clogged essentially because I had been in the hospital for days by the time I filmed this video. I don't know what that's called. I'm not a doctor, but that's a thing that happens.
I'm dying. Cough, cough. I'm dying. But don't show people I'm balding. Make sure. Can I wear a beanie? Can I wear? I don't want people to see that I'm balding. Okay. I used to wear one of those bandanas to hide the fact he's balding. This guy's such an insecure loser. Anyway.
I used to wear a bandana to hide that I'm balding. When was that? I don't. Holy crap, dude. This is low.
If his breathing was bad, you would hear the many liters of oxygen going into his nose.
The whole video feels like Brandon dunking on himself and looking for sympathy. Yes. It's good. It's look, don't get me wrong. This is a perfect way to posture. It is a perfect way to posture to your audience and get sympathy W's, right? It is a perfect like last squeeze. So of course, like outwardly presented, somebody who doesn't know anything about like, the fucking background of these communities, unlike we do. Then yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He's gonna get like those extra 1 million viewers on like a Turkey Tom branded like type of like documentary piece, right? Even though that's not what this is. It's just a rant video about some guy who like, optically raped Brandon Buckingham. So there's gonna be like revenue here, right? This video is gonna get like potentially over 1 million views. Like I can see it. I can see that being the case. This video is gonna get potentially over 1 million views. He's got 2 sponsorships within the video. One mid like at like one mid roll right here, right? Literally mid roll. So he's strategically planning, like putting these ads here. One in the beginning, around like the average where most people would click off, right? Where most people would click off is either like 30 seconds to 2 minutes into the video. 30 seconds to 3 minutes into the video is where most people would click off. Right? Most people like watch at least 30% of the video. How long is this video? 24 minutes. %, would be anywhere between like this area right here. Anywhere between like the first 7 to 8 minutes. 7 to 9 minutes. He's like strategically making money from this. This is literally like one last squeeze. Like, let's make as much money as possible from like me, from the ad revenue, from the sponsorships, right? Millions of views. You already know he's gonna be fucking like pulling fucking money from this video. Sounds bad faith to me. I'm sorry, but like most YouTubers, or even when it comes to situations like this, you're lying to yourself if you're thinking that most YouTubers. I know you're being like ironic because I'm typically not the type to like make very, very I want to say non-evidence based claims or assumptions, but in this case, I mean, come on.
Nose. Well, you're telling me, wait, Borer, you're telling me that when people's hearts is working at 15% 50% capacity, 50% they might need help breathing? And you're telling me, Borer, that they wouldn't switch off the machine next to him? They wouldn't switch it off? They wouldn't switch it off? They wouldn't just, like, let the cord dangle? And that we would hear, like, a machine which is helping him live? As opposed to, like, dead silence?
Really the ICU.
Like, don't listen to what this, like, scamming loser is saying.
This guy's calling me a scamming loser. This is the worst. This is the worst video I've ever made. The reacting to this. This is like the worst video I've ever made. This is like if you were to go to an insane asylum and then try to debate an insane person.
Me personally, I don't care how much I used to dislike somebody or how much I currently dislike somebody. I'm never going to, I'm never going to deal him a bad card. Is all I have to say about that, QQ. I'm never going to deal him a bad card. I mean, I was there when a lot of this information started breaking because most of this happened between Icy and Nuked, right? The latter half happened between happened in Nuked. 80% of it happened in Nuked. Icy was like when Parry made the it's not even plugged in viral video, right? Everything after that was Nuked. I since I'm like in there and I saw how most of this situation developed. Of course, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go after Parry when he doesn't deserve it. It's obvious that he was trolling. It's obviously that he was fucking around. It's obviously that there was a broader criticism. Obviously that there was a broader criticism there that he was doing performatively. like, to cater to his own audience, because that's why people watch Parry, because Parry is like, kind of an actor of sense that, like pretends he's far more unhinged than what he actually is. I mean, Parry is unhinged, but he's like pretending that he is far more unhinged than what he actually is. That clip was probably not meant to like go viral. It was probably like just between his like, himself and the market that he caters to. So I feel sympathy for Parry. I feel bad. I don't think that Parry was ever expecting to get this level of acknowledgement. But it's not like he's gonna fucking like, it's not like Parry's gonna lose from this. From this video and millions of people exposed to Parry, there's gonna be some people that enjoy that type of like humor, that enjoy that type of like, I want to say, delusional character sort of format, and they're gonna gravitate to him. So you claim responsibility, and Buckingham stance should go your way. I never claim responsibility. I just said I know how it developed because I saw it actively happen.
You would wind up sounding crazy. Can you get a shot of that bird over there? That's like the one good part of the video. Can you get a good zoom on that bird? I think it's an egret. See, now we're getting good content. Now we're getting some good stuff.
I don't think anybody ever expected like anything from this, like, hellhole of the community to like actually blow up and expand. You usually when people like make videos or like clip stuff on Twitter, it's for different purposes, but like they're kind of intuitive purposes, if that makes any sense. Like, for example, when somebody's clipping like Queeman or somebody's clipping Chud Logic, have an opinion of like a very, very viral situation, it's obviously meant to like funnel a bunch of fucking views. But when when Parry flips himself saying like the most absurd shit, it's obviously meant to like cater just to his like fucking, to like cater like to the small market of like people that just like to like dunk on people online with like, broader criticisms behind it. So, I mean,
I don't know. To be fair, I don't know. I don't know what they do in these situations where they don't know what.
Nuki Chat is your server. Well, what I mean by like the rest of it developed in Nuki Chat, it's like the troll, like the trolling that Parry received, because Green unironically trolled Parry by making the claim that Parry was a lolicon. Right? There was a couple of other jokes that outside of Nuki Chat seemed completely fucking like insane, that were mainly jokes within Nuki Chat. None of that like says that the story actually developed or was coordinated or was planned from Nuki Chat. That was something else entirely.
Going on, I feel like it would be louder. I just know it would be louder, dude. He's putting on a strong face. So brave. Could it be a private hospital since he's so rich? A private hospital where they just leave the cord dangling? I don't know, man. Maybe.
I don't know what to say, guys. He stumped me with his stupidity.
Is there like fake hospital TV set Texas? Is there? Can we find like? Is there like? Does anyone? I don't know. I'm not in the industry. Hospital sets for filming. Does anyone know where he's from, guys? Does anyone know where he's from? Does anyone know? I don't know. Maybe we could find the set. That would say a lot, wouldn't it? That would say a lot if we found the exact set. Or who knows? Maybe he's faking an illness in order to record in a real hospital. I still think it would be louder. Though.
Why didn't this guy just look up the name of the hospital that I was at? None of this makes any sense. There's like so many insinuations.
I googled the name on Medical City Healthcare. I did Google that. I didn't see anything though.
If you Google Medical City Healthcare, the hospital I was at is actually the first result that comes up.
I didn't see anything, and that was
why didn't he Google, like, dude, there's so many. Why didn't he Google it online? Because he's obviously joking.
It's not loading. God damn it. He's like, yeah, guys. Even if I'm faking, I'm still dying. So you need to give me the money. Even if it turns out that it's because I'm doing fentanyl, you should still give me the money because I have a freaking hot stay-at-home wife who refuses to do any work or pick up any of the slack, and I have a kid that I don't know the name of. It's Brandon Buckingham and all his friends, but mostly Brandon Buckingham, believe that if you're poor, you should just die. That's what they think. I don't think that.
Yeah, for the record, I don't think if you're poor you should die, and I think that having healthcare regardless of your financial bracket is good. I don't know he's just making stuff up.
So this guy's like a druggy retard, and we have to foot the bill, really? I don't know.
Any of these like political arguments, I'm sure some people genuinely believe them, but I don't think that Brandon Buckingham is like a right-wing extremist. He might be like, I think that there are flavors of right wing where you generally believe in like the sense, like, the I want to say appeal, or like the, what's the word? Like the sensibilities of and by sensibilities I mean stuff that, caters only to them, like traditionalism, like religious values and whatnot. I think that there are some aspects of like, right wing like stuff that people usually subscribe to, but mainly lean more in like, liberal ideas such as like, uh such as like universal healthcare, such as like, equal pay and whatnot, but they still lean in the right because they subscribe more to like the traditional values and the actual like policies that would lead to some of these things. I don't think that Brandon Buckingham is like an alt-right extremist, or like somebody who is like generally leans in the alt-right.
Well, that's it on YouTube, so you don't have to admit that you're like a drug addict freak. The problem is, this guy enjoys doing drugs more than he enjoys taking care of his kid, and now he's making that your problem by making you donate.
So if what he was saying is true, and I am just like a hopeless drug addict that is like destroying my health and doing so many drugs that I'm about to be dead, does that then make it okay to like mock me and make fun of me in that situation? And then he's saying I don't care about.
I mean, what makes mockery bad? Like what makes mockery bad, and what makes it okay? Well, what makes it okay for mockery to be bad? I mean, what makes mockery bad, and what makes it okay? When is mockery bad, and when is it okay? Is the question. Like, sure, it could be in poor taste. Mockery can be in poor taste. Making fun of somebody or like some jokes can be in poor taste. But so long as they're jokes, you can't really like classify them as ever being bad unless you have like an emotional like, reaction to it that makes that, a personal conflict of yours.
About poor people or the downtrodden people. Yeah. That's good. That's really good. That's nice.
I agree with the fact that it's always okay, but you can still be against it personally. Right? Like there's certain punches that I won't take because I think they're like, bad faith, like not bad faith, but like, in bad taste. But that doesn't mean that it's like, immoral, or that it's incorrect, or that it's like, you can always do it. It's just within like whether the people around you want to accept the fact that you're making jokes like that or not. It just so happens that in this case, it just gravitated towards the wrong crowd.
Isn't drug addiction and abuse the same thing? Yes, but the thing I'm trying to point out to Anon, okay? The thing I'm trying to point out is that loser right-wing freaks like Brandon Buckingham and his besties don't like calling people immigrants. They call them illegal aliens, right? That's what they say. I am saying that I do not want to use empathetic language for Brandon Buckingham because he refuses to show any empathy or whatsoever, or anything along those lines, and neither do any of his associates, for anybody in a similar situation.
I've actually never commented on immigration or illegal aliens, and this is all just complete fabrication by this guy who's trying to paint me in a negative light.
What the fuck?
To fulfill his little sick and twisted fantasy. So, yeah, that's cool.
Right? Like, I could sit here and be like, oh, it's sad to be addicted to drugs. I could say that. Does Brandon feel the same way? No. He thinks that...
Also, I don't think that, what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't think necessarily that being like a fan of certain like, political pundits or certain political like, figures like Sam Hyde make you more like predisposed or more disposed to being a particular like of a particular political philosophy. Just because you like Sam Hyde and just because you like the jokes that he makes, or like the allusions that he makes towards Nazism or white supremacy or bullshit like that, doesn't necessarily mean that you actually subscribe to those ideas. I think that when it comes down to it, most people who like, generally allude to that probably aren't actually white supremacists. And the people who are, I mean, they make themselves very obvious. I genuinely do believe that Sam Hyde is a white supremacist. I don't think that they were just jokes.
If you're addicted to drugs, make sure to show up when Brandon is filming so he can make...
It literally calls them illegal aliens. Thank you for confirming.
That's what he thinks.
Again, I have no idea what he's talking about. And just as an anecdote here...
Sam Hyde would never make fun of somebody being sick. He says as he like, openly calls for a culture war. He says as he openly calls for like, people who are like mentally ill, particularly those of the right, like of the left-leaning variety, they're going to be cold and shit like that. In his like, his Charlie Kirk video.
The people that was featured in one of my drug documentaries about Kensington, Philadelphia.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that Brandon Buckingham is a righty, but not in the sense as like your more hard like right-leaning individuals. I think he has like general right-leaning intuitions, right? Like family-based type, like he's probably the type to like spout, I believe in religion, I believe in God, I believe in like, family values and like, traditionalism and whatnot, right? I think that he's the type to like spout all those things, but when it comes down to like the policies of like, when it comes to like, policies and the way that he leans, he'd probably be more left. I think that most people would probably lean more left when it comes down to policy. Why would you promote Brandon Herrera if you aren't right wing? You can be right wing. You can be right wing and like you know, intuitively, you can be right wing in philosophy without necessarily being right wing in policy ideation, right? He's clearly not averse to the more extreme sorts. That's true. That's not to say that he isn't, right? It's more so to say that you can't just like slap label, like you can't just like, you know, slapdash label every single person that you dislike that associates with certain politics as being like right wing and potentially like, you know, supporting. I guess supporting it is part of a larger issue, right? It offers like, you know, more of like a social forgiveness to certain right leaning groups and ideologies, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that they themselves are supporters of those extreme right wing like, you know, ideas.
Actually got sober after the experience, and then I later reconnected with him, did a GoFundMe for him, raised over $6,000 and gave him $7,500 to help his continued sobriety journey. So it just makes no sense. I also spent my Thanksgiving in 2024 giving out over $8,000 to homeless people on the streets of Kensington. So yeah, I just, how can I respond to these things?
I want to make the, well, you being charitable doesn't necessarily mean that, like, you know, you offering charity doesn't mean you make you necessarily a good person, but like, I don't think there's just not enough, like, you know, stories about Brandon Buckingham that really, like, he's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know how to say this. I don't want to call him a grifter because that would be the incorrect word. But he just associates with a lot of people that some people would consider dubious, and he just likes a lot of things that some people would consider dubious and irresponsible. I don't necessarily think he's a bad person. I just think he's like, you know, kind of like I don't necessarily think he's a bad person. I just think that he's kind of like maybe a bit of an opportunist. But in order to like make money in this world, you kind of have to be an opportunist.
When they're just made up, just bullshit. It's just completely dumb. This whole video just sucks and is stupid.
Wait, what's this?
I don't know, man. If you aren't averse to genocide, then what does that make you? Sure. Like, look, yes, but the thing is, when it comes to like most people aren't thinking of like Brandon Herrera, who is like, you know, pro deportation. When somebody's like promoting Brandon Herrera pro deportation, they're not thinking like mass genocide. They're not thinking mass, like, you know, struggling of all of these families. They're not thinking like mass and certain negative, like, you know, trade or negative, like, what the fuck do you say here? Or, like, you know, in certain, like, negative ramification for these people, right? They're usually thinking, oh, mass deportation. I've heard that's a good thing. I've heard that'll help my country. And that's all they go off of, right? Whereas there are some more extreme individuals who do hear those things and they think, oh, mass deportations. Now we can have a homogenous country for ourselves and our children. And we can have all these white girls to ourselves and procreate. So, you know, just to be clear, not everybody who supports a certain group of people doesn't like, you know, I want to say set like a pre, you know, doesn't start like a pre-qualifier for it saying that, oh, because this person supports deportation, they also support genocide. They also support mass, like, you know, or like just because they support Israel doesn't necessarily mean that they support genocide. A lot of people don't typically, you know, add that qualifier primarily before the thought. They just think, oh, this is generally seen as a good thing to support because of the culture that I'm in. Probably because these people are suffering. Not because of like any of the other reasons, but once you actually try to like educate them, if they're welcome to the ideas like entering their mind, they will usually just like be like, okay, that's pretty bad. Maybe I'll change my mind.
In loving memory of my big brother, Kyle Delaney. Wait, so his brother also did a GoFundMe scam? That's crazy.
Bro, he's talking about my dead brother now. Yo, this guy is like way out of bounds. Way out of bounds. I don't know.
You're
what do you
blowing
guys
my mind, Gamma. Thank you. Very much appreciate it.
Think about this. He's essentially saying my wife is a whore, I'm a drug addict, I'm a scammer, I'm faking everything. My brother's a scammer, my dead brother that is. I don't even know.
This guy's totally a Christian, guys. Totally.
And he's mocking my religion as well. He's mocking Christianity. He's also mocking.
He's mocking my religion as well. He's mocking Christianity. Who gives a fuck?
That I make rap music?
Literally, who gives a fuck? Literally, who cares? Literally, who cares? Literally, who cares?
Has this guy made...
This is literally just him like sympathy baiting. This is literally him just sympathy baiting for the last squeeze. There's not even anything too damning in here. It's like, oh, apparently this guy's a lolicon, probably. I don't know. He said it, not me. I'm not gonna like, you know, I'm not even gonna like point out the jokes of it. That I wasn't there to like witness, right? Oh, apparently this guy like, you know, forced this other retard to like refund his money. Isn't that pretty bad? Like, hello? Also look at this mentally ill person that was like, you know, praying for my death, who also mocked Turkey Tom. It's just like, whoa, the guy made fun of me on the internet, and now I have to respond because he made fun of me on the internet. Come on, bro. Again, I like Brandon Buckingham. He seems like you know, he'd be really, really good friends with a lot of people in real life, right? I feel like if I were to know a person like Brandon Buckingham in real life personally, like he'd be like, you know, a fun guy to hang out with or a fun guy to, like, you know, be friends with. But but this is just something else, dude. This is just something else. This is literally just fucking something else.
Any rap music? Is he angry because he's tried to rap and he just like sucks at it? Let's figure that out here.
Organs don't work. My organs don't work. My organs don't work.
He's just letting him win. He's just letting him win. This is almost like a parody. This video almost feels like a parody. It almost feels like a fucking giant like parody. Like, yeah, you know what? The hospital visit, yeah, was fake. Oh, we like Lolly here. Oh, it just feels like a fucking parody. The video feels like ironic. What the fuck? What the fuck? Do you think Tom filmed this? Probably. Possible. Just fucking playing my organs don't work at the end. It genuinely just feels like a fucking huge shitpost now.
Organs don't work. I went to Middle East, we talked to Turkish, I talked to Sam, he was fuck.
All right, this guy is retarded, confirmed.
Totally, totally. Real Christian, not a fucking loser, suburban, white boy that wants to be a rapper whatsoever.
Does this guy hate white people? He's saying I'm a suburban white boy? What's someone from Malta? What are they? Are they not white?
What's somebody from Malta? What are they? Are they not white? You call them Maltese. Do you not see that he's like obviously like Arabic of some sorts, or are they? No, they're not Arabic. What I want to say ethnic group are Maltese people. I mean, they're multicultural, right? It's a multi-ethnic group. It's not just one. What is the main ethnic group in Malta? Maltese, comprising approximately 9% of the population. They are Mediterranean people descending from a mix of Phoenician, Carthaginian. Is it Carthaginian or is it Carthaginian? Because I know it's Carthage. I'm just going to say Carthaginian, Italian, and other Mediterranean settlers. They remain in the population consist mostly of small communities of British nationalists, Arabs, and others. Okay. So they are, so yeah. Parry is like my brother from a different country. He is primarily Mediterranean. We might as well be related. He might as well be one of my, like, we might as well have like distant ancestors. So he's Mediterranean. He's like what do I call him? He's literally like a European Mexican. He's literally a European Mexican, dude. Yeah, what are you guys not white? If Maltese people are white, Brandon Buckingham, then I'm the whitest motherfucker alive by those metrics.
What the hell is he? Is he Jewish? What the hell?
What the hell is he? Is he Jewish? All right, bro.
Is he? What's the point? You're a suburban white boy. What's the point there?
Wait, he's saying he's in the ICU right now? Wait, he's saying he's in the ICU. He's saying he's in the ICU. Is this what the ICU is usually like, guys?
Guys,
is this what the ICU usually looks like, where it's like there's a bunch of space, there's no noise or anything?
Stay-at-home wife who I
It is not an ICU bed.
4 days ago I woke up.
Is this what they do in the ICU? They put you with the puppy pee mat and they have the unplugged, heart monitor and everything? Is that what they do? He's saying this is the ICU. He's saying this is the ICU. I am forced to stay in the ICU as the doctors try different medications to get my heart pumping semi-normally again. Dude. Insane. This is not the ICU.
So this guy's an ICU expert. He's saying it's not an ICU bed. Dude, I don't know enough about the ICU to tell you what bed is usually in there, but this is definitely in the ICU. I have medical paperwork showing that I'm in the ICU. Is that a snake? Yo, get a shot of that. Is that a real snake? This guy has a big snake. You just catch that snake?
Yep.
Is that a rattlesnake, is it?
No, it's just a rat snake.
Oh man, I want nothing to do with that. Holy shit.
The just like random guy walking out of the fucking woods with a snake. Yo, get a cool shot of this wildlife that totally wasn't planned.
Yo.
Get a cool shot of this wildlife that totally wasn't planned to increase my empathy points by 10 billion%. to increase my sympathy points by 10 billion%.
Look at that.
Just a joke. Just a joke, by the way. Don't clip me.
It's horrifying. I don't want to be near that.
All right, I'm just sneaking by here.
Holy crap. Oh my
That's
God.
a good picture for you right there.
Yeah, there you go. You want to say anything to the people?
How'd you do?
You just caught that thing?
Yes, sir. Ain't no thing.
If this was unplanned, that's actually so fucking cool.
Take it home and keep it as a pet.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Yo. That was awesome. Thank you, sir. This video is crap. That was cool, though.
That was awesome.
That was really cool.
That was the highlight of the video.
Highlight of the video right there. So thanks for staying tuned, you guys. I'm going to be releasing on Patreon a Patreon podcast with my brother where we're just going to sit down and have casual conversation. So if you guys want to check that out, that'll be on my Patreon here pretty soon. The Buckingham podcast, we're going to be talking about what it's like for me to recover and all that kind of good stuff. And we'll be doing those every week, whether we're playing video games or just chatting about stuff.
All right, I don't care. What's the conclusion on this video? I think it's fucking crazy that somebody the size of Brandon Buckingham is like, going after somebody like Purple Parry Gaming over something that realistically should have never gone viral in the first place, right? Parry's Watt already has 12,000 views, shitloads of donations and new subs. This is an unfathomable own goal from yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That's literally what I was thinking too. I was about to just about to say that as well, like after my thoughts. Thank you for the 5 Australian, very much appreciated. Thank you for tuning in, all of you. There's bound to be some people that like that type of performative, psychotic type of look. Did you give 2 donations? What happened here? Why did it show up twice? Oh, it might have glitched. They're checking your bank for that one. Hold on. Yeah. I was literally saying, because there was an argument that I was having with Soul Skibbity earlier, or a partial argument, where Parry's a provocateur. That's exactly what I was saying. Soul Skibbity was like, you guys are retarded for saying that this is a Parry W. His reputation. And I'm gonna eat a lot of shit here. You know what? I'm gonna take a fucking massive L. I'm gonna take a massive L specifically to you, Purple Parry fans that are in here. More particularly you, Spencer Howard, right? Because I know you're a Parry fan. I'm gonna take a massive L here. I've always said that Parry should be more mindful of his image and the way that he goes about creating content, because he might get mass reported at some point in time by pissing off the wrong person, or he might stumble across some issues with content getting deleted, and that he can't just be bitching at everybody all the time. But unironically, I think that this is a perfect example of what's the word here? All publicity is good publicity, because of course there's gonna be some people that are bound to discover Parry through this, that understand that he is a provocateur, that he is out here just to entertain people by saying the most absurd bullshit ever, that is obviously out here specifically to troll without taking any of his own takes too seriously, that does have some general, I want to say, digestible criticisms behind his provocation, right? I think that there is going to be some people that are going to watch this video, realize that this person just fucking around, joking around, right? That none of this is really to be taken seriously, gravitate towards him, and it's going to give him a huge boost, and that's exactly what occurred here. Parry was like, he needs to be mindful of his reputation. What about his reputation outwardly? It's just fundamentally true that the people within this community, within this market, have effectively already cornered the market, right? Parry is cornering the market in his niche. There's only so much you can do with a small market, right? Yeah, and that so much you can do is effectively the limit. Parry probably has a lot more room to growth, but there isn't much more growth beyond the current sphere that he's I want to say engaging with, if that makes any sense. I like to say it this way: if we're all streamers underneath the Chud Logic orbit, just for hypothesis sake, at best there is maybe a pool of 50,000 people to pull from. It's really good. 300 subscribers off of one live stream. That's extremely good. But again, most of those people probably subscribe just to talk shit. But either way, there's still going to be some people that are going to stick around and get occasional notifications for his videos and give him algo boost. So that's good. But anyways, there's probably a pool of maybe 50,000 people. Out of those 50,000 people, you're probably going to appeal to maybe 1,000, 2,000 of them, right? And out of those 2,000 people, you're probably only going to like get maybe like 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100, 500, maybe 1,000 viewers max average at a time, right? And then that's essentially like the limit. That is essentially the limit that you're gonna get like hard stuck on unless you start making like really really big moves, right? So like Soul Skibbity is out here going like, what about his reputation outside of YouTube? It doesn't matter. He already has like the market that he appeals to unlock, right? Nobody inside this market is going to like really care about that because they know Parry was like like that's this type of content. They're not gonna think any differently of him. They're not gonna like look at Parry and think that this is like a fucking huge loss. They're going to embrace that because that's the type of content they want to see, right? I Soul Skibbity's a moron. Yes, I know, but I'm saying like no, this is unequivocally a Parry W. Effectively, what this has done is like sure, while Parry has gotten like a negative reputation to a bunch of fucking normies who can't see past like the fucking grain in front of their eyes, no, this is a way to break out of a small niche. This is a way to get outside viewers, outside like Patreons into this niche. Right? So no, this is like unequivocally a W. This is not an L. This is not an L. He doesn't need to give a fuck about the outward reputation because there is a limit to how much you can expand past the past this market in the first place. And he's currently like I want to say closely bordering those limits. So unequivocal Parry W. I think this was like a very successful troll. Of course, I'm not a big fan of like the abrasive like sort of like kind of dishonest, like, jokey, trolly nature he has and the way that he, like, produces content. But that's just because I'm a fucking stick in the mud. That's just because I like to cover everything, like, impartially, analytically, facts to the fucking, like, facts to the floor type bullshit all the time because I'm a fucking nerd. It's just like Sam Hyde. Yeah. Yeah. Parry broke containment. And yeah, it's just like Sam Hyde and he doesn't see it. Yeah. Parry broke containment and that's good. That's good for him. From like a business perspective, from like a streamer perspective, that's extremely good. It doesn't matter how hateable you are when it comes to streaming. The more hateable you are, like XQC, right? The more you gravitate to people that like to see that, that like retard win, right? So, unequivocal Parry W. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And the fact that Brandon Buckingham or his researcher spent this much time, I want to say spent this much time, just like researching this guy, A-longing this guy, only to like make a video that's extremely like spite fueled, and not at all like I want to say nuanced, or giving the benefit of the doubt. Clearly taking shots at like clearly taking opportunistic shots at out of context framing. Shows a clear level of vindictiveness and a clear level of pettiness. Now that is the impartial. I still like the guy. I still think that the guy is like I'm still going to respect somebody like Brandon Buckingham, but impartially the truth is that he's vindictive and he opportunistically like hit targets that were like really easy for him to smear, and that's the end of that. That's the end of that. But anyways, that's that segment concluded. Let's move on to the shoe on head. Let's move on to the shoe on head video. Let's move on to the shoe on head video. Cult of the Cry Bullies, why people hate the left. So apparently some people were saying that this video was fucking terrible, god awful and bad. And you guys already know that Shoe on Head is like my favorite woman to hate on. Because as I was growing up, I was a big fan of her and her like, and her like, her channel's features, right? Her channel's features for lack of better words. So I always like shitting on people that I realize are fucking retarded, or like that I realized retrospectively were fucking retarded. Let's take a look at what's going on here.
And welcome to another episode of What the Hell is Going On with your host, Ugly Belle Delphine. Now, before you ask, yes, there is an Epstein Files video coming out. I feel like
not a problem, Spencer. Thank you for tuning in.
Everyone has like streamer brain nowadays, and like every fucking video has to be breaking news in order to get the most views. But I am taking my time with it. I'm sure.
Well, Sean had my first wet dream. I've never had a wet dream. I don't know why people who say that they're extremely common. I don't know how. I've never experienced one. Sorry.
You understand there is a lot happening.
You know, with this anti-Semitic culture right now,
oh wait, actually, I missed something. Before I completely move on, I missed something that was really, really relevant. I missed something that's extremely relevant. Hold on, we're still on Brandon Buckingham content. Hold on, we're still on Brandon Buckingham content. Orpheus linked me this. Recently, I had 2 people start clipping my content in their spare time. Both of them are already making a couple thousand a month. If anybody out there wants to make clips of my content and post them on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, you can keep all the money. Just credit me. Creativity dashboard, estimated reward. So this is how much one of his clippers, right, who again gets to keep all the revenue, makes a month. The Buckingham Show clips. This is probably maybe another channel that he owns, or maybe somebody who clips him. Within 28 days, he's making $1,800 in revenue. I mean, I'm not sure if that suggests that he's making more money through a second channel that he owns, or if he's making, like, you know, or that his clippers make more money. But it's a possibility that he definitely has other business ventures that he's making more money through. So we can never be too sure how much money he's actually making. Is he a millionaire? Probably not. Is he particularly well off? Sure. But even then, what was the bill? Like $100,000? $100,000? $100,000 hospital bill is fucking like nightmarish for anybody to pay off, even if you are making $10,000 a month at, like, you know, a high average, right? It's just fucking insane. It's insane. Did I see Tequila's tweet? I'm about to pull that up next because I saw that right underneath it. Take a look. Brandon Buckingham pushes back on Purple Parry Gamer's suggestion that he should be able to afford his own medical bills. I'm not a millionaire and shows his channel revenue.
I'm not a millionaire. Dude, my RPM is like $4.50. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not even 100.
And this is a misrepresentation. Like I said, this is a misrepresentation of revenue. This is a misrepresentation of revenue. This is a screenshot of my entire channel's monthly revenue. And then proceeds to show the last 28 days when he was inactive. He proceeds to show the last 28 days when there isn't, like, current content being produced. Right? What's it called? An appropriate time for you to show your last month's, like, your last month average from, like, the middle of the year when you were uploading every 2 weeks, or like every week or so, right? This is not an accurate representation of how much money he's actually making a month. I already said that I'm willing to bet like maybe $10,000 every month. Fuck, maybe a little bit higher now that I'm considering that. Now that I'm considering a little. Maybe 1.25 million. How many subscribers does he have now? Doesn't he have more than 1.25 million right now? Doesn't he have 1.36 million? Is that screenshot not dated? Whoa, Chappelle Roan in my fucking... Whoa! Yeah, moving on. Oh, that's 1.20. Oh.
Thousandaire. I have expenses. I have a family. It's very expensive to fly 2 camera guys out to film things, right? Pay for lodging and airfare. I'm not a millionaire.
Yeah, I already covered that. That's... I don't know why you wanted me to watch that. I already like, you know, poked on that. Once again, making me repeat my points like a billion over again. You never have to pay the whole amount. I know, you have to pay $100 a month ever. I know, but I would much rather, like, I would fucking hate to be paying like $100 a month for fucking ever. People can use data points to show anything they want if they know how to misuse it. Yes. He got money for travel? Yeah. Yeah, I think that this the way that money is being presented here is incredibly disingenuous. The way that the revenue is being showcased in that particular clip in this video is very, very disingenuous. It's not an accurate representation of how much money he's actually making. It's a thread? Oh. It's a thread? Okay, fine. More Buckingham. I guess. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick and like tired. So speaking of revenue, for any kind people trying to donate, trying to donate, I recently spent $600 on tires, and then I realized that I need rear tires too, so I'm gonna have to go spend another $600 if anybody can help out. Just joking. Brandon Buckingham pushes back on Purple Parry Gaming suggestion that he should be able to afford his own medical bills. I'm not a millionaire. However, Brandon's likely showing his channel revenue from a recent period when he hasn't posted much. I already made these arguments. When Brandon has stretches with when Brandon has stretches like below, he's likely earning somewhere around $60,000 in under 2 months. $4 RPM revenue per minute for maybe an average of like 20 watch time. Sure. This also leaves out Brandon's sponsorship. He has multiple ad reads. Thank you, Isu, for the $2 Canadian. Very appreciated. This also leaves out Brandon's sponsorships. He has multiple, and yes, I also brought that up as well as his Patreon memberships, which could be hundreds or thousands of members, and start at $5 with tiers going up as much as $100. Not sure how many people are paying $100 an ad, like $100 per subscription. All in all, while Brandon is likely not a millionaire, sure, present his earnings as less than $5,000 per month is exceedingly dishonest, as even a conservative estimate could easily have Brandon earning 3 times or more than that. Sure, a conservative, yeah, that's fair. Conservative, yeah, that's more than fair. 3 times is very, very fair. For a breakdown here. Okay, then not. Never mind. I thought this explains it succinctly. I already gave the same take. I literally gave the same take. Like when that first popped up in the video, I literally gave the exact same take. I don't know if Kilo's math makes sense. It doesn't. $60,000 seems like a stretch. Well, what's the calculations? Is he like calculating the average, or is he calculating the the entirety of the runtime, assuming people watch like 80, like 60 to like 80% of the video? I am estimating it based on like 50%, like 25 to 50% of the video being watched. More so 30% to 50%. For 4.550 RPM. And this is just me like spitballing, right? Because I don't know the exact equation. So that's revenue per minute for like approximately like 2.9 million views, 3.1 million views. Yeah, anywhere between 50 to like 30,000, 15 to 60,000 would be like a good guess. Yeah, if I were to approximate it, just fucking like spitballing numbers. That's not like not at all an unrealistic claim. Yeah, because 450 RPM isn't really that bad for large channels. That's about the median or average. Some people go as far as to like $6 to $10 and $10 per minute RPM. Interesting. Do Firebat supporters sound insane? I mean, anything that stimulates the I think that this is good overall for the community, right? Anything that stimulates the this like small market, anything that brings new like visitors to this restaurant is ultimately a good thing. It is ultimately a good thing. Very much ultimately. But anyways, now that we're done with that, I think that $15,000 per month or 15 to 20 to like $30,000 is more than a fair approximation here.
Against a resolution condemning is Jewish. I want to be clear.
I forgot that that Brandon Buckingham sometimes gets videos that like earn over like 1 million fucking views per video. I was like working earlier when I said like $10,000. I was like approximating like a couple 100,000 view videos, but no, all of his videos get like easily 1 million minimum. 2.2 million, 2.7 million, 3.7 million, 4.6 million. Yeah. I think Kilo is probably more spot on than I was. Anyways.
Want to go there, Attorney General? Do you want to go there? Are you serious? Gentlemen, talking about anti-Semitism to a woman who lost her grandfather in the Holocaust.
Your country, sir. Anyway, let's just forget about these satanic.
I hate when Americans make fucking fake British accents, dude. It's so fucking infuriating. It's so annoying. It's so fucking annoying. Unless it's Americans making fun of Sol Skibbity's British accent.
Billionaire pedophiles running the world. And let's talk about some internet drama, shall we?
I've seen her nudes. I think everybody saw her nudes when they were like 16, bro. That's been that was such a long time ago. That was such a long time ago.
Because that is what's really important.
Are they good? I don't know. I forgot.
For a little over a decade now.
Also, I feel like that's kind of fucked up to like. I feel like that's kind of like fucked up to comment on.
Now, the most inane things can get you called a racist or a Nazi on the internet, to the point where these words hold little to no meaning anymore. It's so bad that when someone is called a racist or a Nazi online, I'm immediately like, oh, what funny joke did they tell? But ladies and gentlemen, we have officially come to the point where not saying anything also makes you a racist Nazi. For the few of you watching this channel who are employed, there's a very popular Twitch streamer named Emaru. She's a cosplayer and just kind of a fun, chill, normie video game streamer. Well, the other day, someone in her chat asked her opinion about ice, and...
Did you say when she was 16, when I was 16? You stupid fucking unk. Get your ears checked. She was 16. No! When I was 16. How old is she? If she was 16, I probably wouldn't have even been born yet. How old is Seanhead? She's 34 years old. I would have been a 5-year-old. I would have been a 5-year-old, I think. No, even younger than that. I would have been younger than 5. I would have been a fucking toddler, dude. I would not have been able to like fucking witness this person's nude if she were 16. She's 34 years old. She's 34 years old, dude. I would have been a fucking toddler. I would have been a toddler. Dude. If her nudes were leaked when she was 16, I would have been literally crawling on the floor. I would have been crawling on the floor. Talking about EPI, motherfucker. Jesus Christ. She's so old.
This is what she had to say.
Dude, hags are W tier. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know why, but hags always end up being the most attractive recently. We've seen shoe on head. She looks good for 34. I'm just saying.
Like, there's a certain extent where I'm like, okay, sure, I get people wanting big content creators to, like, say their opinions on, like, important topics. I get that, right? But it's like, if you need a streamer who doesn't even know anything about politics to tell you about politics, you probably just need to get off the internet.
In a world where it seems like every single celebrity...
What people fail to understand, and it's typically because people are unironically low IQ, is that yes, creating a normalization of being against bad things should be incentivized. Like, you should want to denounce certain things instead of like being afraid of stirring the pot. But people are too like comfortable with the status quo, right? That's why it's called the status quo. People are too comfortable with complacency that nobody ever wants to like speak out against dice and potentially like alienate half their audience. The reality is that you should always want to speak out against certain things. Because if you don't, and you allow the status quo to be pervasive, nobody benefits. People continue suffering, right? If it becomes less acceptable to accept things like ICE in our fucking neighborhoods, and if people denounce it at every step and turn, it doesn't have to be, you're just a gay, liberal, sensitive fucking pussy fucking, like it doesn't have to be like that. It could be, oh, you're denouncing it? Why? This is why, because I'm educated in these topics and because I realize that allowing this to continue only opens the doors for more and more people to be victimized, and it allows, like, right, these conversations shouldn't have to take place. They shouldn't just be, if you need somebody to tell you about, no, you should want to be, especially if you have a position of power, especially if you are in a high regarded position, even if you don't want to like talk about because you're not intellectually capable of doing so, you should still want to give an opinion, right? I think anybody who says you shouldn't expect your fucking favorite streamer to give an opinion, sure, you shouldn't. But it's not bad. It's not bad to like, but it should like, it shouldn't be obliged. You shouldn't want that from them. You should like, do your own research. That should be the primary incentive, is to do your own research and come up with your own conclusion and educate yourself, right? Because the more educated people, the better. But ultimately, it should be incentivized to speak out against these things if you are in the position where you have a lot of privilege and you are able to educate yourself and like just make a slight comment saying, yeah, this is bad. Like these things should not be normalized. These things should not be like widely accepted, and it's to the point where people are generally thinking that ice shooting people's heads off is a good thing. That we should never have to like, allow things to become so normalized that radicalization seems like a more and more normal option for people. The more we age.
Is just screaming their political takes completely unprompted. This was a refreshing thing to hear. Seems like a pretty sane, rational, inoffensive thing to say, right? Wrong.
Yes, it's completely sane, rational, and offensive thing to say, right? But you should want like a pragmatic opinion to be I want to say in a practical world, right? In a practical world, these things should be repeated, especially by popular individuals, so that there's less of a likelihood of motherfuckers like Jeffrey Epstein to get away with like terrible things for so long.
This short little clip where she
now, and again, like I said, to some people that might sound like annoying, like, you know, lefty, like, oh, you're just a sensitive fucking lefty who wants everybody to hold your opinion. No. When you do research, you realize that some of these things are genuinely bad. You should not want these things to be normalized. You should not want these things to like be ignored simply because it makes you feel better. So there should be an incentive to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I should talk about this so that it doesn't become a major fucking problem later down the line.
Ironically tried to avoid controversy,
He's
ended
dead,
up being
bruh.
one of the most controversial dramas this year. I feel like decades worth of news has happened in the past like 2 months, don't you?
One of the most controversial dramas. Where the fuck has this bitch been sleeping?
Every day
dude?
there's like a breaking story of the most insane shit you've ever heard in your life. And everyone is expected to have a fully formed opinion on every single breaking story. There's
Yeah, some of us can do that. Some of us can do that, retard. Some of us can do that, retard.
pressure to react, to pick a side, to condemn, to
Some of us can do that, retard. Some of us can do that. Some of us can give nuanced takes.
defend. But the reality is, when a story first breaks, we're usually not seeing the full picture. And that's
Sure. And you can cover a story that's barely breaking in a pragmatic way by saying that, hey, we're not looking at the whole picture here, but with the limited information, you could probably make this conclusion. The conclusion being that you should probably hold off on your judgment.
why for years now, I have been using today's sponsor, Ground News. So let's quickly give them a shout out before we jump into today's video, shall we? Ground News is a website and an app that lets you see how news stories are being covered all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias, ownership.
Fuck off. I don't care about your stupid fucking spectrometer that's only going to show me whatever you like, bitch.
I'm currently offering 40 the ad as always. Right. And now, let's get back to the video. In this video, we are going to talk about the drama surrounding Emaru, the people trying to cancel her, the mistake the left is making by embracing cancel culture again. We're gonna read some
The mistake the left is making by embracing cancel culture again. Alright, dude.
insane, hilarious tweets, of course, and then we will talk about my personal experience with these people. And what do I mean by these people?
I'm gonna talk about my personal experience with these people and then hold myself as like a fucking monolith of virtue for right-leaning ideism or centrist-like ideism. Alright, dude. Alright, dude. Alright, dude. What a fucking self-centered fucking retard.
I mean the cult of the crybullies. I'm sorry if I sound even more like a prepubescent boy in this video. I am a little bit sick, but I am here, slaving over a hot laptop for you. If you guys saw my last video, you know I am quite critical of ICE. I don't think we should abolish them, of course, but I think it is good and healthy to criticize your government. I am a political culture war commentator. I talk about political topics often. People come to me to hear my political
She's literally doing it. She's literally doing it. She's literally doing it. Hey guys, let me give my opinion on this. You know what? I'm a pretty important person when it comes to politics. You should hear my opinion on this. Let me frame this as let me tell you about my personal experience with these people. And also, let me tell you my personal experience should be used as a de facto understanding of these things. Shut the fuck up. You can't hear what do you mean? You can't say at that point just don't even say personal experience. Just say here's the analysis.
Opinions. But not everybody wants to be a political YouTuber or streamer. And not everybody wants to listen to a political YouTuber or streamer. Sometimes we just want to have fun and talk about other things. There are lots of other things to talk about. Sometimes we want to look at funny memes or watch funny
Yeah?
Videos without having politics shoved down our throat. So a lot of people thought it was really refreshing when a cosplay streamer was basically like, I don't want to talk about politics. Why are you coming to me for politics? It was a perfectly sane, rational opinion. So of course, like, half the internet had a problem with it.
Yeah, I don't think, I don't think that it's bad for her to, like, not say anything. But by not saying anything, you also understand that there are ramifications for, like, essentially allowing ignorance to fester. You can have that option. You're not obligated to do so. And sometimes you shouldn't even be like, there shouldn't be ramifications for you doing so, like, socially. If you're not someone worth respecting and getting a claim for, or a take for, then just say that, right? Just say that instead of lashing out. If you're not educated enough to have the conversation, just say it instead of lashing out at your audience and saying it's so weird. It's so weird when people are seriously asking. You need to rethink your life your life decisions if you're seriously asking a fucking streamer. No. Just say you're uneducated on the topic and that you can't give a good take. You can't give a good conclusive take. You're not obligated to give one, again, to be clear, but like you should at least be honest as to why. Because by not giving one, you're allowing something else to occur.
It's just not that hard to say f ice. It's really not that hard to say f ice, to be honest. Is it so hard to just say f ice? It's really not hard to say f ice. Jesus Christ.
Why do people say shove that down our throats? Because they're essentially like they're making the bold claim that when people start talking about politics or start talking about influence in these ways, it's typically unwanted, and therefore you should shut up and not bring it forward. Right? So they're going to exaggerate it by saying shove down our throats because it's unwanted. When the reality is that no, people just want to be ignorant because they'd rather just pretend that everything is okay, fine and dandy because people don't like being uncomfortable by like harsh truths.
How hard is it to just say f ice? How hard?
Like a disgusting pill, like a medication that they're just shoving down your throat, even though it's probably like for the better.
Is it to just say f ice? How hard is it to just say f ice and move on? Oh my god. Just say f ice. It's not hard.
Yeah, it isn't hard. And it really isn't hard. And if people were educated, they would realize that educating yourself a little bit and giving a slight remark like that, leading to the normalization of people just saying this shit, would ultimately do more. It'll do more. Unironically, normalizing certain ideas, certain behaviors, certain philosophies would do more for the benefit of society in terms of like negating certain policies that only seek to make billionaires richer and harm people, right? It would do more. And sorry that I'm speaking like a fucking liberal retard, right? But it's just the cold hard truth. So sometimes just normalizing certain philosophies or certain ideas leads to some people like not accepting the more the opposite side, which only again serves to benefit a very, very specific group of people. And once that's done, we don't have to do this fucking gay culture war bullshit. It's just, oh, I don't think that supporting this is really good. I'm gonna tell my friends that. Oh, I also don't think that supporting this is very good. I'm gonna tell my parents that. Oh, my kids are struggling in this society, knowing that they're like fearing that their friends could potentially be ejected from this country for no reason at all. Maybe I should change my mind on some things. Oh, I want to become a political candidate. Maybe I should run for office and try to stop some of this shit from occurring. Again, it's just sometimes just saying something, even if it's small, it is enough. It is enough, right? Especially if it's done broadly and accepted, socially. If it's accepted in a broad social conscience.
Is it so hard to just say the line? Say the line! Say it! Jesus Christ, at this point, even if Emaru did want to, abolish ICE, even if she really did think, f*** ICE, she shouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it at this point, because this is just, this is creepy. This is like a horde of zombies chasing after you. Hey, it's actually super easy to stream and have opinions. I'll show you.
What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck is this Miratazapine person doing? Why did you draw me as Fat Diorio? I mean, Diorio's fat, so there's no point in saying fat before Diorio, but you get what I mean. Why did you do this? Why did you do this? I ate Diorio. I ate the Oreo.
Guys, Donald Trump and everyone in his administration, Elon Musk, free Palestine, US is on stolen land built by stolen people, Luigi did nothing wrong, abortion is healthcare, leave trans people the alone. These people literally just speak in bumper stickers, dude. Just copy pasting the-
Which I used to be, I still think that shit's gay and retarded. I still think that shit's gay and retarded because there's no originality, there's no, zing, there's no, zest to it. There's no like there's nothing to like latch onto. There's nothing cool about it, but there's nothing wrong with it either, right? It's not even a bad thing to do. Like that's exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes just like spitting out lingo for people to adopt and like resonate with it is exactly what you should want to occur, so that more people are willing to accept these ideas. Can you review Soul Skibbity's ugly new chair? Can you ping me? Can you ping me? Are we gonna do setup review now? Are we going to do setup like chair setup review?
Internet leftist starter pack. What the hell am I looking at? I hate the Reddit ass. Hey, it's super easy. It's crazy. Like 1,000 years ago, this dude's ancestors were hunting mammoths, and now he's on here like, men should not be speaking like this. I'm sorry. We need another war. The post that really seemed.
What should men be speaking like then? What should men and women be speaking like then? What is this gay ass pandering, motherfucker? If men were like how they were in the 1970s, you fucking trad obsessed retards, you wouldn't be making YouTube channels right now. You wouldn't be making YouTube videos. You'd be in the kitchen getting beat the fuck up for making a sandwich incorrectly. And that's not to say that I'm like a covert like misogynist who wants like women beat the fuck up. Or well, actually, I'm lying. I do want that. I'm joking, right? That's not to say that I want women to get beat the fuck up or that they deserve to. It's to say that like again, like forcing men into this position, forcing men into those particular dichotomies and roles, forces them to be dominance-driven individuals. And typically, in a culture where dominance-driven is like a primary care or concern, then you're going to end up with a lot of people that are super aggressive. And when there's a lot of people who are super aggressive, there's bound to be, like I want to say, a more persistent cause and effect of people lashing out and causing harm to people that don't deserve it. You shouldn't want that. You shouldn't want that. You shouldn't want to alienate people based on specific traits that you want them to distribute or you want them to showcase. That's retarded. That is fucking retarded. That is retarded.
To kick this all off was made by Denims, the self-described largest female political streamer. Only because
even at a micro scale, that's how you get that's unironically how you end up with school shooters. Right? Like at a micro scale, if you really want to go down there, and I'm sorry that I'm using like retarded fucking debate language, if you really want to go there, that's how you end up with school shooters. Somebody in school gets bullied, gets picked on because they don't fit a specific idea or a specific version of themselves that they have to act by or abide by. Because of that, they get more aggressive. They get more ideations of aggression, right? They keep continuously getting ostracized because they just keep delving down into their own mind palace where they keep getting more aggressive and more upset. It's a repeated cycle until finally one day they're like, you know what? I want to take this out on the people that keep making me feel this way. I want to take this out on the people that make me feel like it's bad for me to be this way, right? In case of men, it's going to be like, oh, you know what? I'm supposed to be the dominant one. I'm supposed to show dominance in order to keep bitches under control. Then don't be surprised whenever they leverage that authority, whenever they leverage that, socially accepted authority that they're given for no fucking reason.
Stream Denims. Only because I don't stream. Anyway, I don't have any personal beef with Denims. This isn't an own Denims video. We used to be kind of cool years ago, but she apparently has some opinions on Emaru, so
don't care.
Never thought I'd see the day we'd be fence-sitting the modern Gestapo.
First of all, she's not fence-sitting. She's just choosing not to talk about politics.
That is fence-sitting. I'm sorry, that is fence-sitting. You are that is fence-sitting. What's meaningfully different about fence-sitting and not talking about something? By not talking about something, you're staying in the median. You are a mediator. You are staying like a mediator. You are staying in between. Because the moment you choose a side or the moment you talk about something, you are automatically forced to give you're forced to contrast and choose between negatives and positives about a situation, right? That is I'm sorry, but if you don't say anything, you are fence sitting. That is fence sitting. Whatever retarded fucking argument to make. Actually, I'm gonna say something that sounds correct. Because none of my retarded fucking male audience is going to ever understand the points that I'm making or try to think about them in a nuanced fashion. So I'm just going to say it even though there's no meaning to it. There's no meaning to what she just said.
In order to fence it, you actually have to say something.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Didn't didn't even say anything. Like, how do you even know what her opinion is? Second of all, modern Gestapo.
If you don't know what her opinion is, then she's automatically a neutral, fucking, just because fence sitting in certain context implies that they're saying, guys, both sides bad. That is a neutral position. You are forcing yourself into a neutral position, right? It is still fence sitting. It is still fence sitting.
Why is everything the fucking Holocaust? It's totally normal to criticize ICE. It's totally understandable to have—
Why is everything the fucking Holocaust? Because sometimes exaggerated terms that give people a general idea of what something could become maybe gives, again, people a general idea of something, like, of what something could become. If you're calling it the modern Gestapo, that's because there's a lot of similarities between the Gestapo and fucking ICE raids. And sometimes comparing something that is unacceptable to something that is bad or horrible is perfectly fine to deter people's acceptance of it. It doesn't, why should we not use comparisons to exemplify or to, like, make, or to make, very, very hard-hitting points about why something is bad or why something is okay? Or to just make points in general that land harder.
Issues with the things they are doing. But modern Gestapo? Don't you guys get tired of this shit? Like, don't you guys get tired of saying, like, isn't this exhausting after a while? Everything is Nazi. Everything is
I personally don't do that, but yeah, it probably does get tiring. But again, it's supposed to like, again, make ideas flow. It's supposed to give people like incentives, right? The more you say it, the more incentive there is, especially to people who actually care about the substance of these ideas.
Holocaust, everyone is Hitler. It's like nothing else bad ever happened in history. Like, what did they used to compare bad things to before World War II? Oh my god.
The plague?
God, you're literally Napoleon. Also, I love—
Oh, the plague?
Of this racist chud. Like, where did the racism part, like, where did that come from? Listen, I don't get on—
I guess by not giving a claim on it, you're implicitly, like, allowing thousands of, like, innocent, potentially, thousands of, like, or tens of thousands of innocent, like, brown people to get profiled and slammed into the ground and then potentially deported, even though they might have not done something wrong.
Camera and start talking about cars or math or taxes or investing or going outside or the plenty of other things. I don't know.
How many have to pass away before the comparison is apt? True, right? Just because it hasn't reached that point yet doesn't mean that it couldn't at some point. So by exemplifying the point, by making comparisons, we can usually deter people from going down that route. Which is why it's important that at the bare minimum, some ideas are normalized, or at least stated commonly, so that people are less likely to, for example, work for ICE out of fear of social projection. For example, be less likely to support ICE so that there's less and less people seeking employment in ICE. Less people seek employment in ICE. You don't even have to do a quote unquote violent, I want to say revolution, like some fucking retard say. The lack of personnel in ICE is either going to force the government to pay significantly more to make it too much of a good offer to pass up, which will then lead to certain policies, like policy changes being made, or they might just not have enough fucking people to, like, actually carry out a mass exodus of people, right? There's like come on, it's really not that difficult. Sometimes ideas, sometimes general consciousness between multiple groups of people is enough to deter worse things from happening. Which is why it's important to have a stand, to have a take, to at least read up on it so that you can make a more informed one, or to just align with the general idea. And that's not to say that it's like, and that's not to say that it, like, to be clear, that is not like a exclusive argument for one side, by the way. That's not an exclusive argument for why it's okay for, like, left-leaning individuals to say that you should speak about something, because it isn't. It's a double-edged sword. This works for the other side as well, and it happens all the time, right? It happens all the time. This happens for the right as well, because the right can utilize these exact same principles to, like, essentially exemplify fascism, to make fascism seem more alluring, to make Nazism seem more alluring by, like, spreading propaganda about how Mexicans or Indians are coming into the fucking country and raping your women and, like, kidnapping your children and, like, scamming your fucking families with daycares and causing crime and, like, destroying buildings and catching shit on fire, right? It's meant to like all of these things can also be carried out and repeated by the other side as well to like essentially make it seem as if these people are not worth it, like not worth it in your country, so that they can have like their own like white supremacy, white nationalist type bullshit.
About. I sit here and
Who's
talk
making the Emmy Agatha edit? Do I need to put the Derek Chauvin fit on her myself? All right, dude.
About the gender war
right,
and the culture war because
this coming from a black person, by the way.
I'm good at those things, and that's what people watch me for. That is my lane, and I stay in it. Emerald likes what she's doing. Her audience likes what she's doing.
Maybe the culture war isn't a bad thing. Maybe the culture war isn't a bad thing. Maybe there should be continuous fighting until somebody emerges victorious. Because when there isn't any war, when there isn't any fighting, then that means that a status quo has already been met. That means that something has already been accepted predominantly. And I'm too afraid. Or I'm pretty sure I'm not too afraid. I couldn't give two shits less. But I'm pretty sure that there's plenty of people that are afraid that potentially that norm, right? That status quo could just be like outright Nazism or outright fascism. Or outright like a straight up homogenous I was about to say homogenous like nationality.
There are plenty of other channels that will regurgitate your political takes back to you. Just turn on the TV. Turn on CNN. Most normal people are sick and tired of celebrities just like spewing their political takes completely unprompted.
Yeah, they're getting sick and tired because they've been socialized that way. Because they've kind of been like they're getting sick and tired, not because it's something to like actually that's meaningful to like get sick and tired of, right? It's not something that is actually bad and that's like fucking bothering them. It's that they've been taught to be that way. They've been engineered. They've been like engineered to be that way. Because of people like you who are like you should be sick and tired. And you know what? All of these people also feel sick and tired. So maybe you should also feel okay to feel sick and tired. Maybe you should be ignorant, right? Maybe you should avoid conversations like these. Maybe we should focus on just having fun and letting the fucking government do whatever the fuck they want, right? It's almost as if people are getting socialized to do these things. It's like that is the norm right now. And you spreading this idea generally helps this spread into a more normative behavior that people have, which is why people think less and stop actually reading into the net harms of like these policy changes that are coming from like right-leaning or sometimes even left-leaning fucking political leaders.
I don't care what Glub Shido thinks of politics, okay? Why does Glub Shido have to get on stage and start talking about how we're on
for the same reason that I just explained. For literally the same reason that I just explained.
Stolen land or some shit. Why do you need your political opinions thrown up into your mouth by a celebrity like a fucking baby bird? Like, do you really want Sydney Sweeney throwing up in your mouth? Don't answer.
Yes.
Answer that. Don't answer that. Please don't answer that.
She is right when she says most streamers are not qualified to talk about politics. Okay, here's the thing, dude. You actually don't have to be qualified to talk about politics to say f ICE. It's not that hard of a concept.
You actually don't have to know what you're talking.
Yeah, it really isn't that hard of a concept. It really isn't that hard of a concept. If there is an existing regime, which it is a regime to be very very clear, definitionally it is that is currently given the go to racially profile individuals in order to like arrest them or apprehend them, which might lead to people getting innocently killed by innocently killed due to mass panics or mass scares. Or, again, people just, being adverse to that type of, I want to say, what's the word? What's the fucking word here? Discrimination being displayed. Then, maybe you should, in order to prevent, the harm of innocent individuals, maybe you should say, fuck ICE, and make that a normative idea instead of saying, actually, I don't want to engage with these ideas because they make me uncomfortable, and maybe it shouldn't be spat down my throat. There's no arguments being presented here. There is no argument here. It's just thing bad because I say so. I am uncomfortable. It makes other people feel uncomfortable. Blah blah blah.
Talking about in order to just say the line. What? You should look into a topic, do your own research, come to your own conclusion, and form your own opinion on.
Unfortunately, yeah, sure. That's in a practical world. That's how I already addressed this too. I already said this too. In a practical world, right? Yeah, that's how it should work. And I'm not opposed to that. I'm also of the same belief that we shouldn't be forcing people to come to certain conclusions or be spitting it out down their throats as well. But there's only retards genuinely think that that's a good thing to allow. The only retards think that's genuinely a good way to live your life. I'm not never going to tell people not to do that. I'm just saying that it's a fundamentally useless way to live for the reasons that I stated earlier. I'm never like, matter of fact, I agree with her. I do agree that sometimes people are uncomfortable and they shouldn't have to be, you know, forced to deal with like such contentious topics all the time, and certain opinions and conclusions should not have to be forced down their throat, right? I agree. People's agency should not have to be stripped from them, and they shouldn't have to be forced to deal with anything they don't want to. But at the same time, allowing that to occur only just lets for like negative ideas to fester if they're not unchecked, or if there's no like natural correction through like, you know, a social through like, so like, you know, I want to say socially accepted ideas or socially accepted concepts. That's besides the point. That is something that I know is like an issue, and that is of course something that I will allow it to like remain an issue if I don't want people to like be forced to face contentions they don't want to face.
The topic. You should not just blindly, mindlessly say the line.
You know who doesn't do political content? Cutie Cinderella. Cutie Cinderella literally never does political content, and even she's capable of saying "F ice." What about Cinna? You don't have to be a political creator to recognize that it's not hard to say "F ice."
The real counter argument would be, okay, the real argument here, if Shuan had a fucking brain, the real argument here, if Shuan had a brain, is like that whole I want to say idea, that whole like behavior is a double-edged sword, like I said earlier. You can say the line, right? But that can also be used by your political opponents on the far right to also just say the line and make that more accepted, especially under the guise of humor, Sam Hyde, to make like, you know, covert Nazism more of an acceptable thing, like covert fascism and covert racism to be more of an acceptable thing. That would be the argument here, right? The argument would be, no, that's a stupid thing to do, right? Because the same standard can be easily adopted and replicated by the people who have a more popular like take that only normalizes more negative opinions. This is fucking, all of these people are so fucking retarded.
You have to be a political content creator to say the line. All your other friends are saying the line, Emaru. Why aren't you saying the line, Emaru?
L ice. Okay, but unironically though, f them. Straight up. Hey, f them. Yeah, it's f them, don't care, and if you don't like that I say that, it's f you too. You know what I mean? It's really that easy for me, I'm telling you right now.
There's Emaru's roommate saying the line. Aren't we all proud of her? By the way, where are all her friends during all of this? Where are all her morally righteous, good guy, big streamer friends while this is all going down? While she's being dragged.
Is this even supposed to be an argument?
By half of the internet.
This doesn't mean anything.
For doing absolutely nothing wrong. This girl who literally just came.
Wow, you shouldn't say something because your friends are going to abandon you. You shouldn't stand up for your principles and your morals because your friends are going to abandon you. And then they weren't your friends, and you shouldn't give a fuck.
Out of and allegedly.
This is not an argument. This is literally this is just exacerbating the social pressure dynamic again. This is just exacerbating the social dynamic that I was talking about. Because you say certain things, people are going to ostracize you. People are going to make you feel alienated. They're going to fucking bully you for it. And thus you shouldn't do anything. And thus you should stay the fuck down and never say anything. That might actually limit the harm of things being occurring. Or that might actually limit the harm being done to people.
Abusive relationship. This girl who literally just got assaulted, grabbed by some freak at a convention. Now this girl is going through all of this. I guess it's fine to be silent when your friend is getting dragged by half of the internet, but don't you dare stay silent about current thing. I don't even know this woman, and I am sticking my neck out for her because it pisses me off seeing this kind of shit happen to people who absolutely do not deserve it.
If you're above the age of 18, you should care about politics in your fucking country. You don't get.
I agree. I agree. I definitely agree.
To be like, well, I don't agree with this.
I used to be like of the complete opposite mindset that maybe you shouldn't care about politics if you value your social life or your social standing. Because getting political in like real life situations is a really quick way to like burn your fucking social circles. But at the same time, again, you're bitch made if you're doing that. And I was bitch made back then for like using that as an excuse.
This whole taxes.
Of course, again, I'm not going to oblige anybody to be that way. I don't think that it's necessary to oblige anybody. I don't think that everybody has to like be like that. Some people genuinely should focus on their happiness and should focus on their social lives. And there are ways to like have it both ways as well, where you can just like keep your politics in an independent sphere, such as this one, right? As I'm streaming to like fucking 15 people, and maybe you can separate your political opinions from your real world and never talk about them to like, you know, people who might actually have issues with it.
So I'm just not gonna pay for it. You can't say like, well, I'm just not going to care about all this politics stuff.
When someone doesn't have an opinion on a political topic, people like you might get a little mad. When someone doesn't pay their taxes, the government comes and arrests them. Okay, so that's the difference between those things.
There's this weird idea in America especially where like you can just be an adult and be like, oh, I don't care about politics. What?
Many people, most people, do not care that much about politics. I know
because they're uneducated, because they're uneducated, because they're uneducated, because they're uneducated. Because the vast majority of people in the United States are unironically fucking retarded, and they couldn't care fucking less to do basic research on some of these topics.
to you and me that's like
it's because we have a severe lack of intelligence in the nation.
Mind-blowing, that's like unfathomable because our whole life is politics, our job is politics, like I get it. But most people's lives do not revolve around politics. They do other things other than
No, but the thing is that they do. In most people's lives, they do revolve around politics. They just don't realize it. What you get paid as a regular starting wage when you fucking go out of get out of high school and get like fucking entry-level job is politics. What your rights are when you are born into a country is politics. What you learn at school and what is permissible is politics. The laws that you abide by, the laws that you're forced to abide by are politics. Right? People don't realize that these things are politics. People don't realize that the amount of taxes that they pay are politics. People don't realize that the fucking local rules that they impose on them by their local government is politics. Yes, everything that you do is politics. It's just that people don't fucking realize it because they're fucking retarded. Your best friend of fucking 20 years who is gonna get fucking deported by a fucking random retard who never had to work a day in his life to get into the position that he got. No fucking education, who's getting paid $100,000 a year to fucking sit on his ass all day in a car and just monitor for brown people. That's politics. That is literally politics. All of that is politics. People's lives are politics.
Fight with strangers online. Crazy, I know. But man, do I envy them. I was so much happier before I knew. Sadly, it is getting harder and harder for the average person to not care about politics because politics is seeping into literally everything. Politics
That's a good thing. That is unironically a good thing.
will be bending you over and spreading your cheeks and going in dry whether you want it or not. And unfortunately, the people who are like, I just want to be left alone, are the people who are the most fucked by politics. Also, more importantly,
why is she romanticizing ignorance? Why is she just romanticizing ignorance? This is like the worst fucking video I've ever seen. If you are not intelligent enough to look at all of the fucking social aspects of this and look at how something as simple as just saying a phrase could actually normalize and make it more uncommon for people to be in support of a fucking regime that is extremely authoritative. I'm sorry, but if you're not intelligent to enough to realize the butterfly effect of these things or the ripple effect of these things, you unironically should fucking quit. This is the most retarded video I have ever fucking seen on a topic like this. I used to like this void. Dude, that's so
Emeru wasn't saying that she doesn't care about politics. She was saying she didn't want to talk about politics. I feel like that is a huge difference. I care a lot about skincare, but I don't get on here and talk about peptides and collagen to my audience because they don't give a shit.
I should
They're here
get on
to watch
peptides.
me say feminism is doo-doo and make silly little faces at the camera. Yeah, you like that shit? I hate when grown women don't have a mind of their own. You are 28 years old, please develop a mind of your own. All she does is pander to enemy gooner men. No mind of her own. I never liked Emeru, so finding out she's stupid and doesn't have a mind of her own is nice. The audacity! If she didn't have a mind of her own, she would have mindlessly parroted the shit you want her to say. She would have mindlessly just been like, fuck ICE. If Emeru came out and was like, actually, I think ICE is doing a fine job, do you think they'd be like, ah yes, she has a mind of her own? No, absolutely not! They are not angry that she does-
So what are you saying? What are you suggesting here? That it's better to shut the fuck up because if you side with right-leaning position, you're going to get fucking ass blasted by people on the left. Demonize. Okay, dude. So no matter what, it's like she's unironically victimizing right-leaning individuals. Oh, look at these poor losers who fucking empathize with right-leaning politics. Look at how the left treats these guys. Like what are you saying here? You're romanticizing just like not saying anything for the sake of you're like saving your own ass. I'm sorry, but if you agree with something retarded, then you should be socially ostracized. You should be socially ridiculed until you decide to change your mind. I'm sorry, but if I say it's okay to fucking cannibalize human beings and people tell me that's fucking wrong and continuously shove it down my throat until I get it through my fucking head and realize that it's bad to eat people, then perhaps maybe I should stop fucking eating people. Maybe I should stop eating people. If people are telling me that it's bad to fucking kill somebody, then maybe I should stop killing somebody, right?
Doesn't have an opinion. They are angry.
Yeah, and implying that the right doesn't engage in the same behaviors. It's like unironically making the right like right-leaning retards victims.
She doesn't have their opinion. The absolute audacity to say that this woman doesn't have a mind of her own.
Oh, wait. You're telling me that people shouldn't tell me that supporting a modern Gestapo is a bad thing. You're telling me that people disagreeing with my support of ICE, a modern Gestapo, is a bad thing? Hello? Hello? Hello?
While thousands of you people swarm her like drones, barking orders at her to say the line, you guys literally operate like the fucking Borg. So what I'm gathering is that Emaru is a grown woman who acts like a frail, silly little girl to entertain fat, dirty, incel, Asian fetisher weirdos, and is okay with that, but draws the line at saying ICE is bad. Emaru and Asmon's audience are the same. Incels love Emaru because she confirms the image of the anime bimbo stereotype that incels worship. She definitely cultivated an audience who, in the end of all things, are reactionary. She appeals to violent racists who fetishize Asian women. What the fuck is this?
I mean, half of those things are true. Half of those things are true. That's not even a lie. Let's not pretend like there isn't like a very, very, I want to say, participating. Let's not pretend like there is a huge market of people that are exactly like that, right? I very much subscribe to the idea of that of there are no original experiences, right? I very much believe that there are no original experiences. That fucking pain that you randomly get in the middle of the night when you're fucking laying on your side in the middle, like in your fucking ribs for whatever reason, that immediately goes away when you're not laying on your side. Yeah, everybody gets that. That random fucking itch in your fucking like hand that you can't get to fucking go away, that you just cannot fucking get rid of. Yeah, everybody gets that. That weird tingly feeling in your fucking like you know, teeth whenever you hear a certain frequency of sound. Yeah, everybody gets that. You're not fucking special. Like what are you saying here?
Asian fetish thing? Or they just
like yes, there are going to be a large amount of people that have the exact same fucking like I want to say interest that are going to gravitate to a fucking what's it called like a you know, a product, right? That is a market. There's going to be a market of like-minded individuals, and it just so happens that there is a large amount of fucking degenerates in the world that do want to like, you know, watch somebody be their like streamer waifu. That is entirely a possible thing.
Saying this because she's fucking Asian? Like, I'm trying to find a clip.
Look at these guys being racist. I mean, I guess there is like a level of racism there, but it's also true that there is a bunch of fetishism towards Asian women.
Clip of
Is she gonna pretend like she wasn't one of those people that like also got the same treatment?
Saying sucky $5 or something, but it doesn't exist. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's not a coincidence that she answered the question this way, and that her fan base consists heavily of Asian fetishes. I don't know where
she had high speed.
The woman saying this is literally an OnlyFans, like an Asian OnlyFans model. Like, I'm sorry, are you really the person to be talking about fetishization here? The most insane part of all of this had to be when her ex-boyfriend, her allegedly abusive ex-boyfriend, posted his own ICE in the middle of his ex-girlfriend being canceled for not saying that. Like, how fucking petty do you have to be to subtweet your ex like that? Another character involved in all this is former booby streamer Caseytron.
It reminds me of whenever Amarath started wearing a cowboy hat, because that's whenever she started going like full Nazi, basically. She started wearing the cowboy hat. It's like whenever these Texas girls in like these Austin, Texas streamer circles start wearing cowboy hats, that's whenever you gotta watch out.
Wait, Deadass, she's not even wrong. She doesn't know like the argument that she's making because she's a fucking baked retard, but she's not even wrong. Right? When you go to a different culture and you integrate, and it just so happens that their culture happens to be primarily like, you know, certain thoughts like, hey, like killing random animals and be like yes, if they start adopting those ideas, right, that are normalized around them, and then if all of a sudden one day they go against the grain when it comes to those ideas, then they're never going to like have a counter. They're never going to like, what's it called, Let's say, for example, you go to a country let's say, for example, you go live like with your roommates, and all of your roommates think it's okay to like fucking kick a cat around that you guys have, right? Like all of a sudden one day, because of like your necessity to be there, because the rent is cheap, and if you disagree with them, they'll probably like kick you out. You're also going to like naturally grow into the idea that it's okay to fucking kick the cat around, right? There's like this is very, very simple psychology. You're going to integrate, and if you don't, typically in cases where you don't integrate to like a certain social setting, you'll just be cast out. You'll be ostracized. You'll be kicked out of the group, right? So what she's saying there's not even like incorrect. Well, once these people go to a certain place, they integrate, and then they start like showing signs of integration. Yeah, chances are that they're fucking changed by the integration, and that they're probably too far gone to get them back. That's unironically like a true thing. She doesn't just like I'm not saying that's the argument that she's making, but it is the argument that she's making, right? Like she's too retarded to understand that's the argument that she's making, but that is a legitimate argument.
Woman in Texas.
Like why would Emaru, somebody who in the past who lived in a differently socialized city in the past, why would Emaru, who now lives in another city where everything is going good for her, where she is one of the top streamers in that city and has a lot of good clout connections, why would she ever think it's a good idea to go against the grain when she has so many benefits riding on not doing that?
Wearing a cowboy hat? Lord, take me out. Take me out back, behind the shed. Put me out of my misery if I ever become this politically brain rotted. Holy shit.
Like, that she probably has like weird incels donating her hundreds of dollars. It's because, like, in my opinion, like, it's all a facade to appeal to the worst type of men. Because, like, really misogynistic, shitty incel like men, they like a woman that doesn't have any opinions. I think that she also plays into how a lot of incels will fetishize Asian women. Her whole platform is just like appealing to like the worst fucking men. She's like basically like she's like
I don't even disagree with like most of the stuff that she's saying here. That's just true. If these claims weren't true about there being like fetishization, then certain types of porn would not be popular. Certain types of OnlyFans models would not be popular. Certain types of actors and creators would not be popular. That's all there is to say about that. This is generally true. She's never going to argue it in a way that actually works, but this is just generally true.
Like a pick-me for like incel freaks.
So this fucking pick-me shit, dude. It's gonna be the death of me. Before making this video, I watched a bunch of Emaru stuff, and I saw no signs of like pick-me behavior at all. At least with some streamers or some YouTubers. People could be like, oh, they criticize women, so they're trying to be like one of the good ones, and they're a pick-me. Like, okay, sure, like, that's retarded. We all know that's retarded. But at least I can like kind of see how is Emaru a pick-me? She doesn't even do that shit. Like, where is the pick-me thing coming from? No, really though, what makes her a pick-me and not the booby streamer or OnlyFans models calling her a pick-me? You are literally selling your body for men to consume. If men do not pick pictures of your ass, you can't pay rent. There's no bigger pick-me on earth than a fucking porn star.
Wait. I completely disagree with that. I actually completely disagree with that. What the fuck do you mean there's not a bigger... Okay, I feel like 90% of people are primarily driven by sex, right? I feel like 90% of people are primarily driven by sex. And I think most people would probably be opposed to that claim. They'd probably be like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean? I don't care about sex. I don't... Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Whether you want to admit it or not, whether you believe that or not, yes, you do. Not because it's an active belief that you have, but because it's an inherent motivation to do anything. It is literally an inherent motivation to do anything. Why do people work jobs? Why do people work on their appearance? Why do people do anything? Why do people learn? Why do people study? Why do people breathe? Why do people eat? Why do people do anything, right? It's because it's an inherent need to live. And the reason why we focus on things like the gym, why we focus on like jobs and luxuries, statuses, it's because we have been conditioned over the last 20 fucking thousand years that we've been alive to do these things because it ensures our future survival. We focus on luxuries, we focus on statuses, we focus on like all of these things because it is a way to attract potential people to our corner and ensure our survival, whether it's for protection by being a part of a social group or a social caste, or by attracting a mate, right? The reason why anybody does anything is purely for a like chain of like of sex appeal. It's just fact of the matter. It's just fact of the matter. And not everybody who goes to the gym is doing it for themselves. Some people may unironically have like some sort of like obsession with like self improvement, but that's different from people who do it purely for like the sexual gratification that they may receive, right? So essentially, the point that I'm trying to make is that when it comes to pornography, right? Because there is such a dependency, on that like like sexual motivation that humans inherently have, it's going to be the most fucking popular thing. It's going to be like the most popular form of media for like a vast majority of adults. Why? Because it's an inherent craving. You don't have to be a pick me for that to be like, something interesting to people. That's just what people are going to gravitate to. That's what people are going to gravitate to because it is an inherent conditioning. It's not like no. I fucking hate how people categorize or characterize like sex as a and this isn't and I, like to be very very clear, I'm not like a sex positive individual. I think you're projecting, bro. No, I'm not projecting. Right? Like what are like genuinely think deep down inside. Why do you do anything? Why do you do anything? Literally, why do you do anything? Why do you do anything? Right? I'm not saying that it is exclusively, to be very, very clear. I'm not saying that it's exclusively an obsession with sex, to be very, very clear. Right? I'm saying that the primary motivation anybody has for anything, for God, most people are going to cite religion like most people are going to cite religion like God, as in God gave us life so that we can produce more life to worship God. That is still tied to the idea of like procreation, right? That is still tied to the idea of procreation. Why do people do anything? I'm not saying that it's exclusively for sex, but to ensure their survival. And the biggest way is to ensure your survival is like having mates, right? You're ensuring you have a generation after you, and you're ensuring that your bloodline stays alive because that is what we are primarily like coded for. Not necessarily just because you're the exception doesn't mean that is not the norm, right? Why do people fight for status and wealth all the time? Why are there so many people who want to like be rich and famous? Because that is insurance that you will end up with somebody. That is insurance that you will be protected by people. Mormons, maybe Muslims. Yet somehow they all have some weird. And yet somehow all those religions also have some weird dynamic with having partners. Yet somehow all of those religions have a weird dynamic with having partners. I wonder why that is. I wonder why Muslims want so many brides. I wonder why Mormons have partner exclusivity, where you marry somebody. When you marry somebody, you have to have sex with them. It's weird. Well, yeah, I'm not saying that it isn't weird, right? I'm saying like by weird, I mean it's foreign to my concept of what is typically like a normal relationship or a normal standard of partners. Not that it is weird, right? But to be very very clear, right? The reason why porn is such a popular thing isn't because women are being pick-me's. It's because it is a natural phenomena that people are going to be interested in. It is going to be a primary interest of a lot of fucking people, right? It's not that like to be clear, I'm saying that not to defend pornography, right? I think the consumption of pornography can be healthy. It's more so to say that it is going to be a natural interest that 99% of people are going to have. It's not like whether you are male or female. It's not going to be something that women specifically do to cater to like the male gaze. It's going to be because sex in general is going to be an extremely lucrative thing to like take advantage of. You'll find yourself. I'm very comfortable with who I am. I'm very comfortable with where I am. I'm just saying that predominantly the main motivator for a lot of people, whether they realize it or not, is going to be procreation. It's going to be ensuring like their livelihood. Like seriously, think about it. The primary things that people care about the moment they're in high school is, I need to get educated, that I can have a good job, that I can make a fuck ton of money, that I can have a house, that I can provide for somebody, that I can have kids, that I can't be a failure so that when I'm older and 50, I can help my kids go to college and so I can retire comfortably. Ultimately, the end goal is so I can have kids and so that they can have somewhere to live. And if you're telling me that that's not your motivations, then you're fucking lying to me. That or you're you're going to be, again, an exception in a vast sea where 90% of people literally just want to work, get rich, buy a house, ensure their future for their children, Everyone's idea of success is different, sure, but the primary goal for most people is going to be ensuring like a future for themselves and their family, right? That is going to be the primary interest of most people. The reason why I'm making this argument is to be very clear. Not it's like I'm not like a sex positive type of person, right? I don't fucking give a shit. It's just more so that there are very very specific like there are like very very specific deep rooted ideas of what a woman's role should be when it comes to like sexuality or when it comes to like sex in general. And I think that it is stupid to designate particular roles. I think that it is stupid to like designate, oh, you're a woman who does porn. You're fucking like. I think it's retarded to like hold these people to these like fucking gay arbitrary rules. Everybody should just be able to do whatever the fuck they want, right? So long as it's not like a net negative on society. I don't think that people like just thinking of like sex as a free thing, and by free I mean like you are free to do whatever you want, however you want, with whoever you want, is a bad thing. Be very clear.
And me. I don't care about being called a pick-me. I've been doing this for over a decade now. I'm used to it. I've been called it thousands of times. I'm a 35-year-old married mother. I do not give a shit. I do care, however, when other women are called pick-me for the crime of not following a hive mind. I see it so often in like the VTuber community. Like all these VTuber anime.
By this logic, literally everything you do is a hive mind. Like by this logic, literally everything anybody does is a pick-me.
Women will be called pick-me's for
not making a decision is a pick-me in this case. By that logic, you refuse to be ostracized by the rest of your community. Therefore, the best way, or like by half of your community, therefore you don't give a response. So you want to be picked by the vast majority of individuals. That is like definitionally pick-me.
Just saying their opinions. You have to understand, like
it would actually be less of a pick-me if you sacrificed 50% of your audience by giving an opinion that is going to like alienate half your audience.
To these people,
because that way you are like intentionally, whether you like whether it actually happens or not, pulling half of your community.
Whenever a woman has like an opinion that is not like the corporate HR approved opinion of the week, whenever a woman doesn't toe the line of the current thing, in this case, whenever a woman doesn't say anything, she's called a pick-me. She just must have these opinions for men. No other reason. Every woman is secretly a big progressive feminist. And if they're not, they're just doing it for male attention. Because I'm sure someone who looks like this is really starving for male attention.
And then
I don't know why you wouldn't. I don't know why you wouldn't want to have more liberty as a woman. I don't know why you wouldn't want to have more liberty as a human in general, not just as a woman. It's retarded for me to like designate women specifically. As a human being, I don't know why you wouldn't want to be like, freed of your traditional beliefs and roles so that you can go out there and do whatever the fuck you want instead of being designated as like a baby producer, fucking like, I want to say purely attraction for like purely existing for male attraction bullshit.
My opinion, it's like she's not entertaining whatsoever. She's like, I would literally rather watch paint dry.
So true.
You know what, Wicked? I actually agree. See, this whole thing about terms like pick me already compromise. Yeah, it goes back to like the socialization of things. It goes back to people like, allowing certain ideas to fester that normalize certain behaviors, that normalize like, some people being ostracized and blah, 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 blah.
Because what is far more entertaining than a cute, high-energy cosplay streamer reacting to memes? This is way more entertaining. And if you don't agree, you're just like an incel. Okay, bitch. Eventually, after a few days of being dogpiled by the most annoying people on Earth, Emaru came out with a statement. Hello, it's very rare I will speak my mind, but I'd rather get my thoughts out there, so apologies if this is long. There's a clip from my stream that's been circulating a lot, so I'd like to explain it for anyone who was hurt or shocked by it. It should go without saying that no one deserves to live their life in fear of being killed or taken away from their homes or families, regardless of who is doing it, but especially not because of ICE or any other government agency. I understand the world is a very cruel and messed up place. You don't have to study politics or actively read the news to know that. I would never want to invalidate anyone who struggles with those things, and an agency causing fear and suffering deserves zero support. To me, that's not even political, it's basic human empathy. Now, I thought that statement was perfectly fine. My issue with it is, she didn't have to make it. She was basically forced to come out and say her opinion. So did these freaks finally back off once Emaru made her opinion about ICE clear? No. Of course not. Nazi response. TLDR, go f*** yourself in your PR apology. And there it is,
Of fucking course she's another dumb cunt. Girl, we are not as dumb as you look. You're still—
I mean, they're right. They're right. It is her trying to like stay in the line. It's like her trying to like tread the line. She's trying to like walk this tightrope that she thinks will appeal. Like it's supposed to be ambiguous. It like of course like it's supposed to be ambiguous on purpose because then you apply your own feeling. Then you apply your own feeling. Like come on. Let's be so fucking for real here. You're seriously gonna sit here and tell me you're like genuinely going to sit here and tell me that this response wasn't catered specifically for people like you to be like, you know what? It's perfectly fine to have a response like this. And then for people on the other side that are also like you to be like, you know what? It's perfectly fine to have a response like this because you all want to be pick me fucking retards that appeal to people that want to be centrist fucking cowards. I understand why people talk about centrist fucking cowards now. I understand why there's such a fucking hatred for them. I never understood up until this fucking year. Or not this year, but like up until a couple of months ago. It's catered for there to be the least amount of impact possible between like normal audiences so that they can project their own feelings into the response.
Still a racist chud, but continue to enjoy the money you get from your incel audience because they're disgusting, just like you. All I hear is, I support Israel and my name is Emaru. Wait, what? Where the f did Israel come from? What? I don't like to talk about politics equals I'm a Nazi and I'm ashamed of my opinions. Everyone knows what's up. She's a fascist in disguise and is squirming. Emaru, you are garbage Nazi-loving c***. You got orange around your mouth. Say F you, Asmongold. If you're neutral— oh wait, if you're neutral, you might as well say you're MAGA. Stand for something, ho. That's what Trump wants, for everyone to be quiet about it. The idea of get off the internet is so fucking—
This is true. This is actually true because if you're quiet about something and allow certain ideas to fester instead of others, then one becomes more normalized, and it's a lot easier to radicalize people that way.
Ignorant. This dumb cunt needs to shut her fucking mouth. Thank God her downfall is happening. I've been hating on her since day one and knew something was off about her. Not a good statement. She implicitly disavowed ICE, but not so much the actual Trump admin. Yeah, you disavowed ICE, but what about the whole Trump administration? They're like literally the mouse from If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. I was like reading that book to my toddler the other day and I was like, oh my god, this is literally Twitter. You cannot give them an inch, dude. Of course are incel fans swooping in to protect the poor little 28-year-old. Ah yes, incels.
What the fuck do I put on this one?
Defending women online. What? What the f does the word incel even mean anymore? Does it just mean man now? It just means man. Man I do not like. I had no idea this was a thing until yesterday. How come no one told me Emaru low-key a femcel?
Sure, buddy. The normal centered people are problem. Not okay. When I say centrist, it is drastically different than the people who are in the middle because they haven't done sufficient enough of research to hold an opinion. Right? A lot of people get this confused, and it took me a while to realize this as well because it took me a lot of research and a lot of like information gathering for me to come to this conclusion as well. There are people in the center. There are people not in the center because I consider myself to be a centrist. I consider myself to be like center of like of the line as well when it comes to like politics as well, right? But that's because the way that I visualize and that I view politics is drastically different than like what is certain like I want to say normally accepted. I think that there are certain ideas that you can have that are like traditionally right leaning, such as like certain certain intuitive like intuition based ideas such as like typically it'll be ideas like the need for a nuclear family, right? It'll like certain like sometimes ideas like fuck dude. A YouTube crash? A YouTube studio crash? Yes, it did crash. Okay. My stream isn't cooked. It's my fucking hold on. My fucking stream crashed. Whoops. We're back. Okay. My fucking my chat just crashed. My chat just crashed and I couldn't read. So look, like there's going to be some people on the right that are mainly going to subscribe to the more I want to say traditional values, right? The more intuitive ones, like the need for a nuclear family, the need for a strong economy, more or less, even though it's not really like a right-leaning position anymore. A strong economy is just going to benefit both sides, regardless of what what circumstances we're in. The need for, I want to say, strong religious virtues, which became adopted more so into, I want to say, like right-leaning positions over the course of like the last 50 years. And like, you could like, you name it, right? Stuff like that. Like the need for, I want to say, limited more borders for like a strengthened economy. Limited borders, emphasizing that there should be a like certain amount of like immigration in order to strengthen the economy, right? Because you can't have it completely closed off. Otherwise, there won't be like any external stimulation. Blah 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 blah. However, there's probably a lot of people on the right that when you present them with more left-leaning ideas, such as like universal healthcare, such as I want to say taxation to fix like certain issues in our society, such as like broken roads, schooling issues, feeding like kids that can't afford lunch and stuff like that. They're probably going to be like, you know what, like under these circumstances, given like the data, given the statistics, I do agree with you. There are going to be some right-leaning individuals that do generally believe those ideas. I like to believe that the vast majority of right-leaning individuals also believe in some like left-leaning ideas that people like to label as exclusively left-leaning. I don't think that every single right-leaning individual is a like a fucking Nazi fascist sympathizer, unlike some people on the left. To be very very clear, I don't think that everybody who's right specifically subscribes to a support of ICE, and in the sense that ICE is like the modern day Gestapo. I think that they subscribe in like to the idea of support of ICE mainly because they think that border control is good because border control limits the amount of crime that happens in the United States and it limits the amount of like economy failures that we have, even though that's not the case. They don't know that though because they haven't researched it. They don't know that they don't know that mass deportations do nothing to benefit our society. They don't know that mass deportations do nothing to like reduce crime rates, right? Because crime rates are inherently going to be like an economy based thing. The stronger our economy, the less crime there is. That's just fact of the matter. So essentially, I view politics as in like not everybody on the right is going to be extreme, not everybody on the left is going to be extreme, and if they are on the left, chances are that some of their political values or their policy values is actually going to be something that most people on the right would agree with anyways. That's how I come at this as a quote unquote centrist. You can be a centrist and understand that there are points both on both sides that you can somewhat agree with or understand people having as personal values or as policy values, right? But you can also be a centrist that says, you know what? It's not okay. It's not okay to to like castigate somebody for not holding this opinion. Even though if you do hold a certain opinion and make it socialized and make it normative, then you can actually do more impact into, I want to say, like bringing stuff down than otherwise. Like for example, we think alike. Then you're centered and not extremist. The extremists on both the right and left are a major issue and overly affect normal centered people. Yeah, so look, this is the example that I gave earlier if you didn't catch it. This is the example that I gave earlier if you didn't catch it. The example that I gave earlier was like, for example, I think it's perfectly fine for people to be like, you know what? You should say the fuck ICE line, right? A lot of people are going to see that as it being shoved down their throat. And you know what? To an extent, I do agree that it can be annoying. However, if you think that it is annoying and don't want to hear it, then chances are that you're just ignorant of like actual facts of the matter. Because like when you allow certain phrases or certain ideas or certain like commonly accepted things to be more normalized, then chances are that those ideas will spread to the people around you. Say for example, people are saying "fuck ICE" at a college campus, right? It becomes incredibly popular. People at a college are typically more educated. They realize that ICE is getting incredibly authoritative. They're racially profiling people in order to like execute. I want to say some forms of law enforcement, which is typically like unconstitutional and seen as like really really inhumane. People are going to be reading up on the potential harm caused by these things and the potential death caused by like panic induced like racially profiling ICE officers, right? And they're going to realize, you know what? Yeah, it is fuck ICE. And then they'll go home and they'll tell that to their parents. They'll tell fuck ICE to their parents. They'll be like, well, why are you saying that? Well, why are you saying that? That'll probably spark an argument. That'll be like, you know what? Okay, I understand where you're coming from. Maybe it is a bad thing that we have like essentially an authoritative regime. And then they'll say fuck ICE. And then they'll go to work and they'll talk about, you know what? I had the craziest conversation with my daughter. She really dislikes ICE. Then they might not even have the same argument. They might have a completely separate conversation. It's crazy what these people are doing out in Minnesota. It's crazy how these people are fucking dying and getting injured because of ICE. And then they'll think, oh, you know what? Yeah, it is fuck ICE. And then that'll spread to their coworkers. Maybe that'll spread to their kids. Maybe that'll spread to other people. And it'll continue spreading and continue spreading until finally it is like generally accepted that, you know what, we can't have policies like this in our country. And because of how people, how against ICE people are, some people, for example, might be disinterested in working for an organization such as ICE, right? Just because an idea spread, or like solely on the fact that that idea spread, now we are like making people disinterested or uninterested in supporting a somewhat authoritative regime, for lack of better words, right? You don't even need to do a revolution like fucking like some extremist leftists or some extremist right-leaning individuals do. Like, oh, we need to go out and fucking like overthrow the government. You don't even need to do that. Simply like ideological pressure in some instances and normalizing certain ideas it goes a long way. However, that's not to say that doesn't come with its own drawbacks. It can have it could be a double-edged sword, because the same way that principle and that idea can work for the left, it can also work for the right. Right? Like people on the right can start spreading the idea that immigrants are criminals, that they're harming our children, that they're scamming innocent families by making daycares that only harm our children, by saying that people are crossing the border to rape and harm individuals, right? Those similar ideas can be uncontested, they can be spread, and they can lead to like more fascist ideologies, right? People like Shoe on Head, who are center and never combat or talk about the nuances of these situations, do more harm than good, because they just allow people to live with their ignorance. They're not centrists in the way that they are in the middle of the line because they think of both of these edges, because they think of both edges of the sword. They are center of the line because they refuse to acknowledge it, and they just want people to be complacent. They just want people to be like, you know what? I don't want to think about those things. They want to essentially come across as, you know what? It's perfectly fine to never acknowledge these things, even though sometimes acknowledging these issues actually leads to some form of productivity to be made. Right? That's what I meant. That's what I meant by centrists are a fucking problem, because there are centrists out there that genuinely think it's a good thing for people to be fucking ignorant and never acknowledge the negatives, right? That's what I mean. That's what I fucking mean by I understand why people hate centrists. It's not that all centrists are bad. It's that the vast majority of centrists are fucking retarded because they don't make any good points. They just rely purely on ignorance. They rely purely on, you know what? You're so comfortable. You're so comfortable never having to think about these things, right? You're so comfortable on never having to. Maybe it's good to not be. Maybe it's good to like go out, have fun, and never have to think about these things, because our lives aren't politics. Your lives shouldn't be politics, even though everything you do is politics. Every like when you wake up, you go to work, the hour that you clock in, the hour that you clock out, and the amount of fucking money that you earn between those hours is politics. The money that is detracted from your wages is politics. The money that you get fucking paid per diploma, and the value that we put in certain things like AI or computer science is politics. Construction jobs, and where sometimes governments like contract people to build giant fucking facilities, that's politics. Whether your fucking kid eats at school or not, that's politics, right? Whether you get to wake up and pump gas for fucking, $2 a gallon. That's fucking politics. Whether you get to wake up and own a car, own a gun, protect yourself. All of it is politics. People like to say our lives shouldn't be politics, but literally living itself in a free country is politics. But people like fucking Shoe on Head who want to be centrists are like, we shouldn't have to think about that. No, you really should. Because if you don't, then you just allow dangerous ideas, right? That's a double-edged sword again, to fucking run rampantly and never be corrected. You should want to have a say in something. You should want to be factually correct on something.
Femcell! Emaru's a femcell! Oh my do people just not know?
I think that's true, by the way. Emery might be a femcell at this point in her career. If she's not dating anybody, like for example, I would if Pokimane is like a woman that unironically like chooses her career over like a relationship, which by the way, there's nothing wrong with that, right? People value different things at different stages of their life. But if like for somebody, for example, Pokimane is like unironically doing, then I would consider that to be a femcell. I would consider that to be a femcell.
Know what words mean anymore? How are they coming to these conclusions? I mean, have you looked at her? I mean, look at her. Look at her. Just look at her. Look at her. Yeah, sorry, I don't see it.
I think you guys just might be mentally ill. We need to do something about these male-centered women. Okay, first of all, nothing is more male-centered than centering your life around hating men. Men just live rent-free in your fucking head. Take it up with God, go to therapy, do literally anything else than make it our problem. Fuck her, and especially fuck her bestie.
Take it up with God, go to therapy, do literally anything else than again, bring a contention out to the public so that people can come to their own conclusions. Wait, didn't this bitch just say, go home, research, and think about it, and fucking come to your own conclusion? But like, if people aren't bringing their opinions forward, or bringing their own research forward, and their own ideas forward, how are people supposed to, quote-unquote, research and come to their own conclusions?
Gold. I hope they get kirked. 30-year-old woman too scared to say f*** ice to keep her incel audience happy. Let's hope she gets abused again. Couldn't happen to a better person. Next time this cunt is assaulted, I'm gonna laugh and laugh. F*** her and f*** ice and f*** you if you support this cunt. Emeru deserved what Miskiff did to her.
Jesus fucking, okay, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, now these are a little fucking extreme. Alright, these are a little fucked. Jesus fucking Christ.
I genuinely hope this bitch gets okay. I reported that one. Right. Holy shit. What is wrong with these people?
What is
you
this?
don't understand. I'm good guy, which makes it okay for me to say f***ed up things about bad guy. You think saying that to someone is f***ed up? Well, you should be abused too, because you're probably also bad guy. It's called being on the right side of history, chud. Look it up. Nazis deserve death, and silence is compliance. May I just remind the audience that this is what she...
I mean, that's real though. That is real, because typically when people are that's real though, because when people are making claims like these to public discourses, like Emeru not addressing something, it's not equating Emeru to a Nazi. It's equating a very, very quick turn into like Nazi-istic type like behaviors in our society. That's not to say that our society right now is like, you know, modern Nazism. It isn't. It's more so to say that ICE is incredibly comparable to the Gestapo, right? It is incredibly comparable to the Gestapo. People don't like these comparisons being made because it makes them uncomfortable, which goes back to like several points that I made already. So it's only fair to say Nazis deserve death, because if we reach that point, then we'd be too far gone as a society. So it needs to like those issues need to be cold when they get there, if they get there, right? And silence compliance is clearly stating that if you're not actively talking about these topics, making them a normal thing to do, right, instead of rejecting them and being ignorant, then eventually fascism will spread. Because the biggest like any fucking nerd, and I'm not a history nerd by any means. Any fucking like retard can read like a history book and come to the realization that is exactly how fascism spreads, by ignoring very, very open red flags because you're being like, what's it called, led on by the charisma of like a fucking leader that just wants the worst shit to happen to a particular group of people.
Silence is compliance. May I just remind the audience that this is what she said.
If you need a streamer who doesn't even know anything about politics to
see, let me play both sides. Let me tell you how this is extremely bad. But then this is what isn't this horrible? Isn't it horrible that people are reacting this way to this poor woman? Again, it's like then what do you do? Say nothing? Head would be like, as a centrist, yeah, you should say nothing. You should stop making it other people's issues until there is like a very, very silent and rapid growth of like horrible ideology that is quickly spreading amongst one side, because it's so much easier to go down the easier route and just fucking like, you know, just like you know, get rid of people through any means necessary. And now we're at fucking like, you know, Hitler 2.0, right? And I'm not saying that it is fair or that it is just to compare Trump to Hitler and demonize him to the same degrees, right? No, I'm pretty sure most people would disagree with that if they're reasonable. But it's not inappropriate to suggest that it is a very real fear that people should have with any leadership. It is a very real fear that people should have with any administration, because any administration could be doing things under your nose or could be silencing certain ideas to allow certain other ideas to fester and then eventually lead to that. This isn't even exclusive to Trump. It's just in general, you should be afraid of any leadership becoming fascist.
Tell you about politics, you probably just need to get off the internet.
Ladies and gentlemen, a Nazi that deserves death. What? After making her terrible statement full of lies...
But they're not calling everyone Nazi. They're not calling everyone Nazi. That's not what that claim means.
Emeru decided to follow right-wing grifter Shoe on Head. Of course Emeru is now following a fellow
but like they're not even wrong. They're not even wrong. Everything I've been seeing here is like apologia. It's apologia for like right like for like the right wing audience, for like right wing individuals. That is literally what this is. It's just apologia for that. She is unironically a grifter.
Pathetic pick-me for being quiet about ICE. They both don't want to piss off their 100% right-wing gooner fan base. For the record, my fan base is probably like 70% right-wing and 80% gooner. Okay, but for some reason, they didn't mind when I came out and harshly criticized ICE in my last video. Yeah, some disagreed, but for the most part, they didn't care. As
Okay, alright, sure. I'm definitely gonna believe that at face value.
long as you aren't preaching from an ivory tower with no nuance, rhyme, or reason, people don't care. I'll say some shit like, we should decommodify housing, and the right-wingers in my audience are just like, okay, commie mommy. These people cannot-
That's probably because they're not actually right-wingers. That's probably because, okay, that's probably because they're not actually right-wingers. That's probably because they are intuitively right-leaning. I'm sure that there are a lot of people on the right who identify as right-leaning because they don't know any better, that subscribe to nuclear family, subscribe to traditional values, subscribe to natural gender roles, subscribe to all of these different ideologies that are pertinent in the right, but also agree. These things don't have to be exclusive to a political fucking, like, you know, they don't have to be exclusive to a specific political side. They can just be ideas adopted culturally, socially, because it is better for society that houses remain affordable, because it is better for society that people are being paid, that their time is being valued, that they can have things. That because it is better for people to just have things. That's not to say that socialism is grand and amazing. It's more so to say that people can have wealth and there can be ultra rich people and people can have housing. It's just that there's a lot of there's literally just like a lot of I want to say opportunism happening right now in the top elite class, and that's just like fact of the matter.
Fathom a universe where people just disagree. Oh, you're just scared. You don't want to upset your chud audience. I upset my chud audience every goddamn day. You're the ones terrified of your own fucking cult. God forbid you only agree with 99% of the hive mind approved opinions. God have mercy on your soul. I do not envy you. Once you bend the knee to these people, once you apologize or capitulate, it's over. These people don't actually want an apology. They want to humiliate you. They want to drag you down.
All right, dude. All right.
At the end of the day, they
never engage with opposing ideas. Never engage with opposing ideas, because the moment you do, they're going to rape the shit out of you. But so always be afraid and stick to your own side. Stick to your own guns. You should be afraid of confrontation. You should be afraid of having conversations. You should be afraid of arguing. Even if you believe your side to be right, you should be afraid of arguing with these people. Why? Why? Because they'll tear you down and fucking rape you. You should be afraid to potentially have your ideas corrected or contested. Fucking retard. Fucking retard.
Found a socially acceptable way to bully people. That's what this is. A lot of people in response to Emeru's statement were
socially acceptable way to bully people.
Why did you apologize to the mob? You know, you bent the knee, you're a coward. And honestly, people don't realize how insane it can get. These people, the cult of the crybully, they come in swarms, they get in your head, they prey on your empathy, they isolate you from your friends, they make you feel like a terrible person for having milquetoast normal ass opinions, or in this case, no opinion. And when you are someone who is not used to dealing with these types of people, or you are someone in like a vulnerable state of mind, it is very easy for these cult-like tactics to work. This shit works especially well with women in particular, not to be sexist, but it's just true. Honestly, you know, now that I think about it, the only people who are immune to this are like autistic people. I swear to God, people on the spectrum are immune to the cry bully tactics. What happened is Emeru just saw like a shit ton of people who were mad at her, and she wanted to do the correct thing. Unfortunately, this is just gonna make it worse. And they're moving on to one of their favorite tactics.
The big question in everyone's mind is, well, are you still friends with Asmongold?
While it is appreciated that you are taking a stand and clarifying the clip, you do continue to be vague about how deep your
Oh my god, it goes back to ambiguity. It goes back to ambiguity. Yes, it's a fucking PR. Like the previous people that you were trying to make fun of are proving their point. You're proving their point. There's going to be people like fucking you who do pander somewhat to the right-leaning type individuals and be like, you know what? This is all fucking insane, right? This is a perfectly reasonable response, right? It's catering to you. But now you see that it is also catering to them to reduce the amount of blowback. that it is like they were right to criticize this of being like a fucking ambiguous PR response. It's supposed to appease both sides because it's exactly what's going on here.
Negotiations with Asmin are. So hopefully you've cut ties with that hate-mongering Nazi troll Asmin, right? Glad you made this and owned up to it, but you're still friends with Asmongold, so it doesn't read as earnest.
What the fuck?
Almost a decent explanation. But the elephant in the room is that your friendship with Asmongold is holding this back from seeming sincere. Okay, now what about your best friend Asmongold? Denounce Asmin or I'm not taking this seriously. You're friends with Assmold.
What the fuck?
Assmold?
How do I damage them?
Sure she's still friends with Asmongold.
Now, whatever you think of Asmongold, he is friends with Emeru. They are friends, even though they disagree with each other. Crazy, right?
I literally said, like, I don't agree with the things he says. Like, what do y'all want me to do? Like, fucking shoot him on stream?
Yes, that is what they want you to do. Yes. Around 2018, I was facing nearly daily harassment for being friends with someone who was on the right. Hundreds of people were on my ass like every day. They were calling my job. They got emails of my family members. It was like non-stop. Now, this person was a good friend of mine, but in order to get all these people off my back, I did probably the cringiest thing ever, and I publicly disavowed her. Publicly disavowed a friend of mine over political differences. Now,
how the fuck do I kill this guy?
Here, that sounds like something I would never do, but I did it. I bent the knee to a faceless mob of people who hate me. And in return, I received nothing. The harassment didn't stop, the hate didn't stop. Well, needless to say, karma is real, and the same thing happened to me years later. I was publicly disavowed by friends over political differences. This story ultimately does have a good ending. Me and my friend from 2018, we made up years ago, but looking back on all this in 2026 is extremely embarrassing. And if I knew what I knew now, I would have just told those people to go fuck themselves. But in the—
Alright, I don't care anymore. This bitch is boring me, and I've already streamed for my, for like my minimum amount of hours that I want to stream today. Appreciate y'all who stuck by. Thank y'all for being here. Hope all of you who are sleeping are enjoying your good nights. I'm gonna go raid you guys out to Jimmy. So, any new viewers that I have here watching me, appreciate you too. Love you guys all. Let me go send you guys over here. Okay, thank God he's still alive. All right, bye.